Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And we will be going to the topics there. And today you'll get notes also there. But before we start with it, let me just go through this. See what we have covered. Let's recap the things. And we'll see the questions also there. And then come back to the topics one by one. So, yesterday I have discussed the basics, application, current aspect, right? All is there. Then trends of science and technology, prelims and mains exam. I have given that one. Then you have GS mains third paper, syllabus and analysis part of. And as you go on writing test, you'll get to understand exactly how the answer has to be framed. I'll today give you an idea also there. There's one question also there. And science and technology development. This is the first topic mentioned in the syllabus. And there I have said that you need to have the information of every aspect of development post-independence. That's why yesterday I've gone into development in field of atomic energy, nuclear science and technology. I've given you all the development part. Then I've gone into the DOS, Department of Space, and the development part. Right? Today we'll look into more such development. So my first intention was that at least in 2 classes, you go into every area of science and technology. You know about each and every aspect of it. So that later on we can fill the skeleton. I can go into every area and we'll learn about all the important fundamental concepts. That was part of it. I have talked about this ancient India, then medieval India, and then modern times, and then whatever we have discussed, Indian nuclear program, 3-stage nuclear program. First stage comprising of development of pressurized water reactors and boiling water reactors, and second stage, fast breeder reactor. We'll learn about those technology later on, but this is the second stage. Then third stage is thorium reactor, AHWR, advanced heavy water reactor, right? Then I have also mentioned that India is a nuclear capable country. We too have for military program, and Pokhran 1 and Pokhran 2. Now this area, when you study about nuclear technology, you link with IR and geopolitics aspects. Particularly in the case of, as I said, nuclear part, nuclear summit, nuclear security, right? Those aspects will come into that. Though we are learning in this area from technological perspective. Then in terms of ISRO, I have mentioned satellite development, different type of satellites, their applications. And we have 3 platforms. One is INSAT GSAT, second is IRS, Indian Remote Sensing, and third is IRNSS, Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, right? We were talking about precision targeting or positioning. In terms of that, NAVIC or IRNSS becomes important. We have also discussed in the last class about launch vehicles. And I mentioned that right from beginning, India has been working to develop sounding rockets. Now sounding rockets are just like experimental type of rockets, right? Sometimes sounding rockets are used for atmospheric studies. Any kind of a data we require for atmosphere, there we can use the sounding rockets. Then in terms of actual development, we have discussed in the classroom about SLV, ASLV, then PSLV, GSLV. Today we have operational one, PSLV and GSLV, right? And then finally we have gone into astronomy. So we have discussed about Chandrayaan 1, Chandrayaan 2, Mangalyaan 1, now we'll have Mangalyaan 2, then Astrosat, then Aditya, right? And then I have said that even there are ground-based observatories, right, which is managed by the ISRO. So ISRO comes into that aspect also, right? Now questions here, what question you got in the assignment part, let me just go into that. See, questions have been picked up from the previous year exam. The first question is a Project Loon, which was asked in the exam. So 2016 exam, there was a question about Project Loon, which you all know that. Project Loon is a balloon-powered internet to far-flung areas, and as a Google company has the Project Loon there. On the similar ground, similar lines, Facebook is having Aquila. Aquila is a solar-powered drone to provide internet connectivity to far-flung areas. So even Facebook is also having such kind of project there, right? So if you look at here, in terms of areas there, which question you have got here. So I'll just take few first objective questions here. So Project Loon, the answer is B, which you know that. Though in the question, now if you look at that, why this question has been taken, this question is totally current affairs. And always you'll find science and technology question, current affairs will be there. I will take few questions from this year exam also there. Now Project Loon here, nowhere in the question Google or anything has been mentioned. Simply given that why it was in the news. So here the answer is that wireless communication technology. Right, as I said that providing the broadband connectivity all those kind of connectivity to far areas. So what is done, there is a balloon, like a hot air balloon, stratospheric balloons, and they will be used for providing the connectivity. And already Loon has been tested successfully in New Zealand. Google has already tested successfully. So it was there in the news, it was there in the current affair material. Direct question came in the UPSC exam. Now if you look at this one, Mars orbiter mission, yesterday I said in the classroom there, and this was question asked in 2016 paper. So 3 statements given, you all are aware of that. Simple, you understand, orbiter means orbit. Whether you are talking in terms of the Earth as a planet, or let's say other heavenly bodies, let's say other planets, Mars, Jupiter, all this one. Now if you look at here, I'll just provide you important information. The number of spacecrafts are there, which are, see, most of the spacecrafts will be orbiter. Right, this word orbiter comes into that. Let me provide you useful information. And NASA is a pioneer in developing such spacecraft. Though India has developed MOM, but NASA has been pioneer in doing that. In recent, you will find that, let's say for example, Messenger. Messenger is a spacecraft for Mercury, the very first planet of solar system, right? And Messenger has collected data over the Mercury, temperature of the Earth's surface of the Mercury. Even very surprising thing is that when you read geography, solar system, they will find that Mercury is not tilted in axis, it is a perpendicular degree, 90 degree. And Messenger has found that there might be possibility of water on the pole side. And another thing you will learn in geography, that time period of rotation and revolution of Mercury is almost nearby, 83 days, 88 days, rotation. So almost what happens, one side of Mercury always faces the sun. So there are hidden side also there. How it is possible to understand those kind of things? Such kind of spacecraft like Messenger, right? Then you'll know that another type like Mars, if we talk about Mars case, so number of spacecraft has been sent by NASA. So NASA spacecraft, and this has also been asked in UPSC exam. UPSC has already asked question there. I'm just adding those information there. Like for example, if we talk about Mars, right? There has been like same time when Mangalyaan reached Mars, just one day before Marvin reached to Mars. Right? What does Marvin stands for? Marvin stands for Mars, right? A is atmospheric, exoatmospheric. Here the word is exoatmospheric. Exoatmospheric, right? V stands for volatile. Now till yet in any exam this has not been asked, but I'm providing you that information. Volatile exploration. I'll now give you a very interesting aspect of that. When NASA sent any spacecraft, any kind of a satellite for any study of a planet, it goes direct. It uses the sun's gravity for maneuvering to put into the orbit of the planet. We did something different, right? That's why first attempt we were successful with Mangalyaan. How we put that Mangalyaan to the Mars? What was the approach? Correct. So what we did, like this is Marvin, whenever NASA sends, the NASA goes directly to that one, right? They have solar powered panel and all these things are there, which goes to the direct planet there. If you look at this Mars orbiter mission, MOM. So we did this type of Earth. First we put into the earthbound orbit. MOM was put into this. That is called as a geocentric orbit, just like a satellite. As you put a satellite there, elliptical orbit, right? Now here we have sun. I'm just drawing rough type of diagram here. Sun is not there that near, it's far away. So then we gave what? Maneuvering. Satellite contains something called Newton engine. There are also rockets, tiny rockets are there. So they were fired, and right, they're fired, and we gave the thrust to this orbiter and put into the sun's orbit. This is brought into sun's orbit. What we call the heliocentric. This is a geocentric orbit. Now it came into the heliocentric, just like any planet goes around the sun. So there it was put up there. And when it came to the near to the Mars, right? When spacecraft was near to the Mars, right? We gave another thrust to be captured by Mars orbit, Mars centric orbit. So ISRO जो है झटका देने में उस्ताद है. We have been expert in giving all this thrust, and we do it for our general satellite also there. Communication satellite and all we do in that. We will always come across something called transfer orbit, Hopman orbit. This is something called transfer orbit. So ISRO always used the transfer orbit concept, and same concept was done in the case of Mangalyaan, and we were successful in first attempt. Now ISRO has planned such a way. ISRO was ready with plan B also. What is very challenge? Putting precisely into that orbit distance, the altitude has to be proper altitude also there, where it is intended to be there. There should not be any kind of error, and it was all planned, and we were successful in that case, right? So you'll come across such kind of NASA also. Then you'll find Russia's or China or European Space Agency. Such kind of spacecrafts have been sent. I'll add one more NASA's there, which has been very popular, Voyager. So there are Voyager 1 and 2, which also made news there. Voyager 1 has already crossed the outer edge of solar system. Solar system does not end with Pluto, right? There's a big area beyond Pluto, right? That's called a Kuiper belt, and you know that is the area called as them. And there are a number of objects there. So Voyager was sent to study outer reaches of the solar system. And 2 years back, it has already crossed that outer edge. It has gone to some other solar systems, right? So this was also in that time the news there, right? So for Mars and all this planet, and recently, very interesting, very important two names I'll write about NASA. One is Juno spacecraft. Hey, Juno is the goddess. Juno is wife of Jupiter, right? Roman mythology, Greeks and Roman mythology. So what is the story there? That Jupiter hid himself in cloud, well of cloud, and his wife Juno, right, searching for Jupiter, tries to look into where the husband has hidden, right? Sometimes pati dar ke mare chup jate hain, right? So there, so that's why the name has been selected as a Juno. Mighty Juno. This mighty Juno is not a small satellite or spacecraft, very huge. It has got the largest solar panel, and Juno will survive till next year. It has a total lifespan of 18 months, and it is now sending data back to the Earth. So what is so unique about Jupiter? It's the largest planet of solar system, that gaseous Jovian planet, and there's something called a red spot. Recently the photograph has been given. The storm, that is the center of storm. It was captured by Juno spacecraft. So Juno is going to do the mapping of gravitational field, magnetic field of Jupiter. All these studies will be done. And you know that Jupiter as a planet has number of moons, right? The number of moon is there, right? So there are certain interesting moons of Jupiter. And one moon you will come across, Europa. Europa is the Jupiter's moon, not Saturn. Titan is the Saturn, right? So Europa, that's how study will be done by Juno spacecraft. 2 years back, one more spacecraft was in news, that is called New Horizon. New Horizon spacecraft was sent to study Pluto, right? Now you know, it has come in the news because Pluto was once 9th planet, removed from the list, made a dwarf planet. Again now consideration to put it back to the planet, right? Now tell me why it was made a dwarf planet. Yes, there's a correct. There is a sometimes comes in between Uranus and Neptune. The path of Pluto is not clear. That was the main reason. But otherwise, as a planet, it is a spherical. It has a mass, volume, density. Every aspect is there, right? Now Pluto lies in Kuiper belt. There is a term called Kuiper. Kuiper belt of solar system, and this Kuiper belt is the icy cold zone, and NASA believes that there are many Kuiper belt objects which is beyond Pluto. So what was there in the news? Now New Horizon has been sent into another voyage, again beyond Pluto, to go into such kind of objects which lies in Kuiper belt. So when you read current affairs, what I want to say, when you read newspaper, current affairs, you'll come across such kind of name of satellites and spacecraft. So if UPSC has asked about Mangalyaan from Indian context, so UPSC can also ask you from other countries' perspective. If it is a popular spacecraft, there can be question can be asked. Like for example, say here, Zika virus was asked after 1.5 years, 2 years, the question. When it was there in the news in Brazil and during Rio Olympics, right, UPSC didn't ask question. But now it came in the examination, right? Juno is also making the news from the long time. It's only the matter of time when question can come in the exam. New Horizon, again, for a long time. So you have to be prepared from that aspect. Now this is what I said about Mangalyaan. So first statement is correct, it's an orbiter which goes around the Mars. Now second is that it is made in India, becomes second country. I said fourth country. So what is UPSC testing? Fact. Whether India is third country, fourth country, fifth ranking country, that fact was tested. And then third, you all know that, first attempt. So here the answer is 1 and 3. Right, 1 and 3 is the answer there. Now, yesterday I discussed about Women Scientific Program Kiran. And there's something called Curie also, right? Curie is similar to Madame Curie, right? Nobel laureate. She has won Nobel Prize 2 times, right, for her work. But Curie is a DST program, which gives fund to, what is Curie? It gives a fund to women universities. There are certain women universities for their infrastructure, all the equipment, upgradation, money is given under the Curie program. So I'll write here. Curie program, there is a funding given to those women universities and to promote science and technology research. So Curie program, there is a funding given, fund from DST. This all program comes from DST, Department of Science and Technology, to support R&D in women university. Can you name any women university which you are aware of? Women university. Banasthali, just an example, Banasthali. It has got under Curie program, right? Banasthali in Rajasthan has got the, right? So there are such universities, big universities, which can be funded under Curie. Kiran, on the other hand, I have said, for women scientists, right? Their aspect, the funding is given. So when let's say question comes of this kind from government programs, so if you will be aware that Kiran Curie is linked with what. So here I have given that is a women scientist program, not research reactors. Now the research reactors, what I've given second option here, research reactor, I'll provide the information. See, BARC, Bhabha Atomic Research Centers, have also developed number of research reactors for carrying out R&D, research and development. Sometimes to build new type of reactors, we first work on research reactor. Research reactors are also used for training purpose, training of scientists who joined BARC. They're trained into that. So let me write here. See, when you talk about research reactors, I have given the option there. So that's what I'm trying to provide you more information on that. See, research reactors, first thing is that it is used for R&D for new technology. Any kind of new technologies we want to develop, right? That can be, or I can use the word, it can act as test bed. Right? I'll just zoom out there, I'll make it bigger there so that you're able to see the option there. Right. So test bed of any new technology. Right, that's good. Like for example, one simple example which I have mentioned here, research reactor developed by IGCR, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research. So BARC in Trombe and Tarapur also has research reactor. They're in Kalpakkam. IGCR is where? Kalpakkam. Now I'll give one example of Kalpakkam there. There's a reactor called Kamini. Right? Kamini. So what does Kamini stands for? Kalpakkam mini reactor. Right? Not anything else. Kalpakkam, there's a mini reactor. This is a very important reactor at IGCR, Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research. And why it is so important? We have developed fast breeder reactor, FBR. The fast breeder reactor technology is based on Kamini reactor, right? So you can say that this led to development of fast breeder reactor, plutonium, uranium based reactor. So that's given as example, how research reactor helps. So our scientists work to develop the new generation of reactor, right, which works on plutonium, uranium. That was the Kamini reactor. BARC there, in BARC, there is a reactor called Dhruv. Then you have Apsara. सारे खतरनाक नाम यहाँ पर है. Apsara. Then you have Purnima. There's all the name of reactors there. Then Jarlina, ZERLINA. And there's not one or two. There's the research reactor is also not small. They're big size. They're bigger than the room. So these all names are Jarlina 1 and 2, Purnima 1, 2, 3, right? And then there's also called CIRUS, CIRUS. All these are research reactors, right? And based on this, we develop new type of power reactors. R&D is done there. Can you tell me any other use? Another I've said for training purpose. It is also used for training. Research reactors are used for training purpose. Apart from training purpose, tell me any other use of research reactor. There is one term called radioisotope. I'll give one good example. Cobalt-60 is used in the radiation therapy for cancer. Such kind of radioisotopes are also generated using such reactors. And such radioisotope goes to the cancer hospitals, medical diagnosis, nuclear medicine, from where we make research reactors. So, third what I'm writing here, radioisotopes, this generation part, this is all we are using in terms of the research reactors. Right, since one of the option I've given, so I'm just providing you the extra information on that. Now, if you look at sophisticated instrument to develop nuclear technologies. So there are number, like, can you name any sophisticated instrument to develop nuclear technology? Any instrument which comes to your mind? Any nuclear technology linked instrument you are aware? One is that radioisotope based, there are number of devices are there. Even you can think in this line also. Just think of this one. MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. Right. Or I'll give one example, accelerator, cyclotron, synchrotron. You know, particle accelerator, which gives a high speed to electron and proton, charged particle. So just take an example of accelerators. They're called particle accelerators. Then example is MRI. I'll give you one more name of instrument which is used in nuclear technology, in terms of nuclear medicine, like, you know, scanning of the body. One is a CT scan, but nuclear technology based called PET, PET. What does PET stand for? I'll write the full form. Positron emission tomography. Stands for positron emission tomography. All these are technologies. All these are sophisticated instruments, which we are today using in our country also there. Right? So when you read question, here I am providing information. But if in case any examination asks you the application names, so then you should remember it. Now what is given here? MRI technology developed by Bark, this is what I am given. But as per that question is the A, Kiran Curia Women Program. But I provided you the information, other options what I provided, right? Now coming to the one last aspect, then I'll go to next question here. Bhabha Atomic Research Center has developed something innovative also there. And you can say what I said yesterday, indigenous. और एक बड़ा इम्पॉर्टेंट डेवलपमेंट है, पिछले 2-3 साल से न्यूज़पेपर में है, और ये चीज़ इंडिया ईयरबुक में भी दिया हुआ है. इट्स देयर इंडिया ईयरबुक ऑल्सो, एंड इज नेम्ड आफ्टर होमी जहांगीर भाभा. द नेम ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी आई एम गिविंग दिस नेम, भाभाट्रॉन. So it looks like this movie, like, you know, which movie is that? Transformer, right? That Gammatron, Megatron. There is something called Bhavatron. Right? So what is Bhavatron? Now see, it's there in the news. Now say that, as to say, sometimes from there it can be asked in the examination. Right? So Bhabha is named after Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhabha. So what type of instrument can be there? Cyclotron type, where it is used there. So let me write here. Is a teletherapy or radiation therapy instrument. Teletherapy instrument for cancer treatment. For treatment of cancer. And there is one very important hospital in Mumbai. What is the name of it? Tata Memorial Hospital. Many of the referral cases, cancer patients, they go to Tata Memorial Hospital. And Tata Memorial Hospital today has this Bhavatron. It has been given from Bark. Bark has transferred to market. It's something called a lab to market, lab to field. So what is it? Teletherapy, or what tele here means? Radiation therapy. What sometimes people say chemotherapy also. Radiation. So here chemotherapy, but here what we use? Radiation. Right? Like gamma rays. Gamma rays which will destroy the tumor or cancer. And what is so usefulness of this instrument is portable. You can carry from one place to another. And what is happening in our country? Cancer is on rise. Now it's not only the urban areas. Now the cases of cancer is happening in the even rural areas also there. So that this kind of instrument can be given to the such hospitals. It can be part of the government program also. And it has come from where? Bark. Bark has developed. This Bhavatron. Now one more thing is that, which when you read India Yearbook, chapter on science and technology, Indian government has gifted Bhavatron to Mongolia. When Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited Mongolia, so this machine has been given to Mongolian government. So that means this technology developed by Indian scientists. Now it is helping Mongolians there in terms of cancer treatment. So given to Mongolia there. And that you will find in a report also. In report also you will find this. Central Asian country there. There China and Mongolia, that part. So they we have gifted to that. Right? So you have to always look into those kind of information which do not get so much of highlight. Right? And question can come. Right? So I've given her. No, you have to just know this because you know UPSC is what? Unpredictable. No, that is the Earth-like planet. What is called exoplanet, Earth-like planet. Number is actually UPSC do not ask too much of factual thing. They will not ask you the number there. But yes, the concept of exoplanet, Earth-like planet, or let me ask, what do you mean by Earth-like planet? If any planet discovered some other solar system, some other, so when we say Earth-like, what does that mean? Presence of water? Only presence of water? Now, water and all comes later on. What is very important? The distance of that planet from its star, its own star, and the distance. What is so unique about Earth is that the temperature is neither too high nor too low. So that's what called lukewarm condition. And that's what UPSC has asked Goldilocks, habitable zone. Now based on that you can talk of atmosphere, water. Another aspect of Earth is that it's tilted on its axis, right? So sometimes what you read in newspaper, Kepler and the numbers, right, maybe even larger than the Earth in terms of size, what goes super Earth. But they share the similarity in terms of all those characteristics of the Earth as a planet. Same way like Jupiter, like it will have with Jupiter or Mercury characteristics of that, right? So that you have to follow from the current aspect. Now let us come to the next question there. ये क्वेश्चन थे, ये क्वेश्चन नहीं मैंने इसलिए बताया क्योंकि वो जो ऑप्शन दिया हुआ है तो ऑप्शन के एक्सप्लेनेशन के लिए मैंने बता दिया। इसका प्रिपरेशन तरीका यही है नहीं जैसे साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी एज यू गो ऑन द सिलेबस पार्ट एवरी एस्पेक्ट so when the question you solve in any kind of examination there is multiple choice so there why I'm giving explanation sometimes you have the information of some of the option let's say B you know C you know let's say Curie and Kiran may not be aware but if you have the information B and C and D this is what I've supplied so you know that this only odd one out is A that part of that so today being the second class I'm just giving you way out okay, how you can go into those kind of questions there structured thing is that I've just given the explanation part because of the option given there right Project Loon, as I said, there's a direct question there, right? As we'll progress, every area will go into every aspect of it, right? Now let's look at this question there, this part. Again, I'll give you the explanation part also. Since we have discussed yesterday, now what is the question is there? Consider the following statement regarding launch vehicle technology of India, right? And you'll find in the previous year examination, launch vehicle technology question has not been asked. Now if you look at the first question, India's first satellite launch vehicle was PSLV. Is wrong? From development part, you know that. Second, PSLV is the first launch vehicle in which uses liquid propellant only. So here, what is the question based on? Whether you know about the PSLV configuration and what type of fuel is used. So UPSC will not ask you nitrogen tetroxide or dimethyl hydrogen. The chemical will not be asked. But UPSC expect that you know that what type of stages of PSLV is there, right? So PSLV rocket, if you look at, is a 4-stage. As I said yesterday, 4-stage. It uses solid, liquid, solid, liquid. And PSLV is the first rocket in India which uses the liquid propellant. But what is question saying? Only. So that is wrong. So sometimes when you come to a question, you have to be careful with the language. What is given there? It was given that solid, liquid, or liquid, that part could be correct. Now, first stage of GSLV used cryogenic engine. Yesterday only said that upper stage, the last stage. So again, UPSC question will be simpler, but it just looks into basic facts, basic concept there.
So the first stage is the lowermost?
No, lowermost. Always we count from the lowermost. Why we count from lowermost? They get detached sequentially. Burns out and sequentially.
The first stage of GSLV is not cryogenic. The uppermost stage is last stage.
The third is also wrong. So here the answer will be all three are wrong. All three statements are wrong, right? Because the PSLV again is not the first launch vehicle. If I have given in the question operational launch vehicle, first operational, then it would have been correct. Because there's nothing given that operational or something, it's simply given the launch vehicle. So we are looking at the development part, like right from the experimental satellite launch vehicle and this kind of vehicle, right? So this part is there. And so here incorrect question is not correct. If you see here, question given but not correct. So all these three statements are incorrect, right? There's another type of question there. Now this question came in 2016, AstroSat. And yesterday I mentioned multiple wavelength based satellite. It carries a telescope, just like a astronomical telescope has got. Now what do you find here? Other than USA and Russia, India is the only country to have launched a similar observatory into space. What is the question was there in UPSC? Other than India and Russia, US and Russia, India is the only country. That means only three countries are there. That means only three countries are there. Which other countries are there? European Union there also. Even Japan. Now I'll provide the information. Japan, same year, when our AstroSat was launched, same year, Japan has sent there what is called Hitomi. Right? It is sent by JAXA, Japan Exploration Agency. Now Hitomi is also similar to AstroSat. What is the role of AstroSat? Study of stars, neutron star, black holes. Same way Hitomi. Hitomi in Japanese language means eye, to look deep into the universe. So even Japanese have also sent similar satellite, and it's for the study of universe there. Universe study, deep universe and star and all this. Right, so now what is why this question becomes there? Because sometimes what you read in the newspaper, current aspect, which is very direct. Let's say if you have read in current affair material about Hitomi, or let's say some European spacecraft or something. So what UPSC does may not directly ask about that Hitomi or something, but will frame a question like this one. Other than US and Russia and US, India is the only country. So that means if you have a background information that yes, you have read, there was in the news one European Union or Japan satellite. So this statement may be wrong. ये चीज़ ऐसे भी कई बार होता है indirect way in terms of background information. Now what is the second here? AstroSat is a 2,000 kilogram satellite placed in an orbit at 1650 kilometer above the surface of the Earth. Now this is totally factual. Where it is placed, right? Now ऐसे क्वेश्चन का जो सेकेंड पार्ट है फिर वहाँ कंसेप्ट आता है. Because sometimes it is not possible for you to remember the kilogram of the satellite and the which height. But I'll tell you that kilogram is something different. If you know the concept of, which we learn in the class of orbit, and what type of application comes to the orbit. Low Earth orbit, medium Earth orbit, high Earth orbit. Right? Normally you'll find Earth observations carried on low Earth orbit. Right? Even astronomical observatories, let's say NASA has got Hubble Space Telescope, Kepler Space Telescope. We have put AstroSat. Is all are in low Earth orbit. And low Earth orbit extend up to 2,000 kilometers. From the center of the Earth, if you take 2,000 kilometers. So there is no question, if you look at here 1650 kilometer surface of the Earth, so that is the saying surface of the Earth. So if you take, what is the radius of the Earth? 6,400 kilometers? Yes. Right, 2,000 I say center of the Earth. So normally if you talk about surface of the Earth, it goes into the low Earth orbit 600 to 800 kilometers. As the atmosphere where ends, 800 kilometers. But here is given 1650, right? So which extend to medium Earth orbit there. But weight of the satellite, if you are remembering when it came in the newspaper, then you will be able to take a decision whether second will be correct or wrong. Right? The weight of the satellite is not 2,000 kilogram. It is is a heavier satellite, but it comes into around 850 kilogram or something like that. Normally that kind of spacecraft is there. Right? So here both the statements are wrong. What I want to say, अब यहाँ पे ये चीज़ समझना है, यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम में कुछ ऐसे क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, 2 स्टेटमेंट क्वेश्चन, जहाँ पे एक ना एक क्वेश्चन का आंसर डी होता है, none, and this is that question there. Both the statements are wrong, right? So this was asked in the exam. So you had in the revision assignment medium nature, and one subjective question was there in terms of strategic areas. So strategic areas you have to write in the subjective answer in terms of the defense, space, and link with the security part. Okay, how it comes into that, right? Is it okay? So now let's look into here. Yesterday, based on, I'll now close the PowerPoint. So what I did was that, let me just, so yesterday I mentioned in terms of development, science tech development, 2 areas we have discussed there. So one was in terms of nuclear atomic energy. Second, space, I have discussed about that. Right, now third area which comes here, that comes defense. Defense development in India, right? And defense development, if you look at, so just I put in the flow chart there. Now defense here in terms of DRDO, right? Defense Research Development Organization. Now DRDO as an establishment, just so DRDO was established in 1958. Let me write there also. DRDO was established in 1958. That is the formal starting of the DRDO there. And you know that DRDO is a establishment working under Ministry of Defense. But DOS and DAE are separate departments. So here, now DRDO, if you look at the development part, so what is the DRDO comes into? First aspect of achievements of DRDO. See, today DRDO as establishment has more than 52 labs. Number of labs, centers are spread throughout the country after so many years of all the research into that. So what is the first thing where DRDO is remembered? Yes.
ICT.
Missile technology. So from the defense perspective, the first thing what comes is the missile technology. Today, India is self-reliant in missile technology, right? And what comes here very important, the first thing which I'm writing here, the name of the program is called IGMP, Integrated Guided Missile Program. See, Integrated Guided Missile Program was started by the government of India, end of the 83. But many books, when you read the books, will come 84. The formal year will be given 1984. And Dr. Kalam was the head of this program. And what was the objective here? India developed 5 ballistic missiles. What are those ballistic missiles? Okay. So I'll just write the name. So one was Prithvi missile, which we have today commissioned also there. Then comes here Agni, Nag, Trishul, and another very important, Akash. Later on, we'll go to the facts there, but just as part of development, I'm explaining here. Prithvi is surface-to-surface missile, right? When it comes surface-to-surface missile, short-range missile. It's not long-range. Prithvi 1, we have 3 types of Prithvi. Prithvi 1, 2, and 3. Prithvi 1, 150 kilometers. Prithvi 2nd, 250 kilometers. And Prithvi 3rd, 350 kilometers. So what is the range in terms of that? 150 kilometers, 250 kilometers, 350 kilometers. Now what we are doing, we are expanding the range. But what is actually meant for? Short range. When you talk about missile case, it's not very long range. We are talking about 300 kilometers. There is a version of Prithvi which later was developed. Here we are talking surface to surface, land to land. There was a version of Prithvi developed for Navy, Indian Navy. And that is given Dhanush. Right? So let me write separately there. Dhanush is the naval version of, it is called naval version of Prithvi 2. It's a Prithvi 2 missile, naval version of Prithvi 2 missile. So what is the range of Prithvi 2? I have said 250 kilometers. But here Indian Navy, you will find that Indian Navy has got destroyers. Sometimes you find frigates, destroyers, and they're laced with missiles, which can be fired from the sea to the land also, and sea to sea. It can be fired. That's called surface to surface. Right? So it is the naval version of that. What is Agni? Agni was started as medium range. Then it went to intermediate range, IRBM. And today, Agni 5, you all know, is ICBM, Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. Right? This is what we have developed. And intercontinental here means, particularly in the case of Agni 5 is 5,000 kilometers. Though it's called 5,000 kilometers, that is given the range, how much can be there. But now DRDO is working to again increase the range of Agni 5. We have also gone up to Agni 6. Is under part of development. ठीक है, तो ये सारे फैक्चुअल पार्ट हो गए कितना रेंज है, जैसे अग्नि 1 700 किलोमीटर, अग्नि 2 1500, ऐसा रेंज है वहाँ पर, अग्नि 3 3000, अग्नि 4 4000. कई बार प्रॉब्लम भी आता है ये रेंज पे. सम मैगजीन, सम करंट एस्पेक्ट विल गिव 3000 3500 किलोमीटर. एवरेज आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट 4000 किलोमीटर, अग्नि 5 5000 किलोमीटर. And it was in the news again, canisterized Agni 5, which was tested there. And President of India, earlier, former President, he has congratulated DRDO for the success of Agni 5 launch. What is canisterized? Under the cover, which was launched there. These all missiles are just like a rocket. It will not be a small one. Very huge rockets are there. And if you talk Agni 5, is almost like a 12-15 meter tall, and it burns like a rocket, because you are talking about very very long range, which carries there. Now what I've written, Nag, very unique missile which was developed under this program. Nag is called Fire and Forget Anti-Tank Missile. What is Nag? Nag is anti-tank guided missile. They call it a anti-tank guided missile. And this is the indigenous one which we worked out to develop this one. But here very important, the range is not too far. 4 kilometer plus battlefield, there we can target heavily armored tanks. Right, that can be destroyed through Nag. So why Nag has this kind of utility? Because to destroy a tank you require a lot of explosives. That's why it is a very short range kind of thing. Right, so this was developed, this is again unique missile what we have developed indigenously. There is also later on we developed a helicopter launched Nag, which can be launched from air to the ground, what is called Helena. Right, so I'll write separate. There is something Helena also been developed later on. Though as a part of initial part of program was the Nag missile, a helicopter launched Nag. Now helicopter launched Nag has a range of 9 kilometers. Right, now Trishul here, Trishul is for Navy, and it is basically it's called SAM, surface to air missile. Trishul is what? Surface to air missile. We have commissioned Trishul, we are already having there, but it's not a long range or medium range. In terms of air, we are talking ground to air. So it goes into 9-10 kilometers. Right, but when you talk about Akash has 25 kilometer range. Again, it is not long range. We are trying to develop long range surface to air missile, but again comes to medium range kind of. 25 kilometer range, Akash is there. So Trishul is 10 kilometers. Right? Which one? Akash is surface to air. That's why the name is there, Akash, surface to air. Look into that part. So what I want to say here, DRDO achievement on which the DRDO gets credit is this program, IGMP. So this 1984 program, and we led to development of these 5 missile systems. Now this program is over, was already over with the successfully development of all such missiles. But later on we developed more type of missiles, right? Like you know that BrahMos, like Russia and India together has developed BrahMos missile. Now BrahMos missile is called cruise missile, right? What is a ballistic missile? Why is it called ballistic there? They follow projectile path. They goes to the outer atmosphere and they come back. They work with the laws of gravity. Cruise missile does not work with law of gravity. It is a propelled, guided to the target. Right? So BrahMos is a very important type of missile. So what I want to write here, in missile technology, not only this program, today India has got cruise missiles. We have developed number of, the 2 type of missiles comes in the news. One is a BrahMos, which is always there, and BrahMos has 3 versions for Army, Air Force, Navy. We have got the BrahMos, but BrahMos is not a long range. What is the range of BrahMos? BrahMos is 290 kilometers. Initially, I am saying 290 kilometers. Why 290 kilometers? There's something called, which you have, if you have had the IR class, or when you have IR class, you learn. There's something called MTCR, Missile Technology Control Regime. Doesn't allow more than 300 kilometers. But we would have developed, see, when we can develop so many missiles with such range, So India could have easily developed a BrahMos missile with a bigger range there, right? Larger range there, BrahMos. So, but that was because of restriction put on India. And BrahMos is what? India-Russia partnership. Russia being a partner of MTCR, India was not there. But now India has become member, right? 35th member of MTCR. So what is the name of this regime? Missile Technology Control Regime. Now we have become part of it. So now we are upgrading the BrahMos. We are going for bigger, larger range, longer range, right? Longer range we are going for. Now apart from cruise missile, can you name any other cruise missile which we are working to develop? Nirbhay. How Nirbhay differs from BrahMos? See, Nirbhay missile, we are not totally successful. We are in the process of development there. See, BrahMos is a supersonic cruise missile. What is called supersonic? It goes into a speed of something around 2.8 Mach number. एक यहाँ term आता है Mach number बोलते हैं, है ना? Speed of sound जो होता है 2.8 to 3 Mach, that is the BrahMos speed, right? Supersonic. Any missile which goes 5 Mach and more, that is called hypersonic. Nirbhay is a subsonic. कहने का मतलब है Nirbhay has the speed of less than speed of sound, subsonic. लेकिन निर्भय का जो रेंज है, the range of Nirbhay is longer than BrahMos, 1000 kilometers. So we are not successful in that. We are trying to develop, because this technology, this all what we have developed based on borrowed technology, taking the Russian technology and working on that one. Last time Nirbhay test was a failure, right? It was made, and where we do all this kind of testing, you know that. What is the name of the place in Odisha? Now is the name Kalam Island, but what is the actual name? Wheeler Island. Right, there we do all the testing there. It was not successful. ठीक है? तो next जो cruise missile के अलावा जो है, what more India has got the missile? Underwater missile. What is called underwater missile? Underwater missile को submarine launched missile. So India also has got submarine launched missile. Submarine launched missiles there. Can you name and give an example of submarine launched missile? All these submarines what we have. And you know that most of these submarines are Russian, which we have bought from there. And we have also got the missile also there. So can you name the missile which submarine launched missile India has got? There is a name called K4 missile and K15 missile. So I'll give you the from DRDO perspective. This one missile what I'm writing here, Sagarika. There's a name comes Sagarika missile. Sagarika missile is nothing but K15 missile of Russia. So in bracket I'm writing here K15. It's a K15 missile developed, is an indigenous version of K15 missile, which is a Russian missile, underwater missile. Now K15 missile has got a range of 700 kilometers. तो अगर कोई सबमरीन अरेबियन सी में एक मैरीटाइम बॉर्डर पे हो and it contains let's say K15 तो कम है. If it is a K4 has a range of 3,500 kilometers. If placed there, we can easily target Karachi. Hit underwater. So they just go like a ballistic missile. Underwater, they go to the air and then hit to the target, right? Or we place in Andaman water, Andaman Nicobar, the submarine there. So we can again think of targeting of China also. That is what is said, right? Because of K4, K15 is less, 700 kilometers. तो K15 सागरिका बांग्लादेश कवर में ठीक है तो ये so we can use the K15 missile 700 kilometers can be possible. So Sagarika is nothing but indigenous form of K15 missile, Russian missile. So we can target from land, we can target from air, we can also target from underwater also. This is what India has developed capability. Now I'm coming to another type of missile technology development by DRDO. What is called here interceptor missile. We are working to develop that. So sometimes it's also called, there is a special word for it. What is that word which is used for in this case? Interceptor missile. There is one system which is named after this one. Ballistic word is there, anti-ballistic missile, ABM. Right, what I've written here, interceptor missile, and there's something called anti-ballistic missile. So what does anti-ballistic missile does? It goes to the air, intercept the, earlier through radar, it is intercept enemy missile, and this missile will go and then hit the enemy missile, destroy that. Right, and we are developing that. We don't have right now this missile, we are working on that. We are getting the support from Israel. How many countries in the world has got this kind of anti-missile? Right from beginning, you know that US and Soviet Union, during Cold War, they were building this kind of a defense shield, or what is called ABM, right? Advanced Air Defense. Israel. Israel has got this kind of a system developed. There's something called Iron Dome. They intercept, and then Gaza Strip and all this Palestinian thing. China doesn't have. India becomes the fourth country. What I want to say, India now becomes fourth country to develop such missile. So by providing you such information in this flow chart from missile technology, there's only to make you aware that we have worked to develop in the past different type of missile, different range of missiles. Right? We have been there. Can anyone in the classroom can name me air-to-air missile? Air-to-air, which can be put in a fighter craft, let's say Tejas or Sukhoi, can have this kind of missile system and can destroy other enemy fighter craft. There's a name also given, air-to-air missile. Why is it? But there's one more there, Astra. Astra missile, that is a air-to-air missile. Now it has been developed. Astra missile developed ho chuka hai. This has now been developed. There is a India's air-to-air missile, ARM. This has been developed. इसको कहा जाता है beyond visual range, BVR. Right, the pilot can look and can target those kind of enemy fighter craft. And this is the range is around 80 kilometers, 80 to 90 kilometers range. So where we are going to put the Astra missile? Tejas, and also Sukhoi. Sukhoi is a Russian fighter craft there. We are going to put there. ठीक है? तो एक तो ये part है, which you have to remember that from development perspective. Now what comes second? Where DRDO has been working to develop the technologies. Which area of technology comes in defense there?
Tanks.
इसका range 80 kilometers है. Tanks, battlefield tanks. What is the name of tank? Any name of the tank can you provide, which is India's indigenous battlefield tank? It's called MBT, main battlefield tank Arjun. Arjun we have developed. Again, this is based on transport technology from Russia. Bhim tank and all this. T9, T10, that tanks which we have purchased, Bhim is there. But I'll bring into one other major technology here. See, when you talk about naval system, I'm coming to naval system and design. In terms of naval defense there. So if we talk about naval systems, so what all things will come from the technology perspective? The first thing? What is the first thing will be there? Aircraft carrier, okay. Anything else? Okay. So first I am writing here warships. This part of that. We have different categories. Where I can say different categories. Now what are categories? The first category comes here, what are called frigates. Will come as frigates. And again remember that Indian Navy always use class or fleet. There will be more than one type of ship in that part there. And we have three commands, Western Command, Eastern and Southern Command, which are equipped with those kind of. So frigates are like destroyers. They are equipped with missiles. और एक और बहुत important बात होता है frigate के लिए. I'll give one example of also there. They have something called stealth technology. Stealth cannot be detected by radar and sonar system. Stealth. That make frigate unique from other type of warship because they will be not detected by radar system and all this. Stealth features. How the stealth happens? Design. What called the angle, which will send those kind of radiation. And second is something called coating, which will absorb anti-radiation. It absorbs the things there, right? All radiation. So radar will not be easily able to detect such kind of frigates. And I'm giving the example here. Biggest destroyer of frigate, this is the case, you'll come across Kolkata class. I'm giving the example here. Kolkata class of this one. And it contains three such names. INS Kolkata, INS Chennai, INS Kochi. Three warships are there, right? Another category which you all said, I'll write the same thing, aircraft carrier. What is the aircraft carrier? They have dock. You'll find there's a big dock will be there. And you'll put up the fighter crafts and helicopters will be there. So they are particularly in terms of support during the war and even normal time surveillance. The fighter craft can go and come back. And there's something called sky jump. So let me write aircraft carrier. Which aircraft carrier right now we have in India? Vikramaditya. Right? But is it indigenous? No. We have purchased from refurbished and purchased from Russia. Actual name is Admiral Gorshkov. That's the actual name. But only refurbished and bought by India. Earlier, we had one very important aircraft carrier which we decommissioned. Virat. And one more was there. Vikrant. So if you talk about Indus, but all these are not Indian. This is all like Vikrant. If you talk about INS Vikrant, so this is which country? Vikrant? UK. Royal Navy, UK. When it was decommissioned, 1997, and Bajaj, this Vikrant bike is made from the scrap, this iron of the scrap of Vikrant that was used for making the bike. And that's what Bajaj says, that pride of India and all those things. So there was a campaign to save this particular, but it was not. The actual campaign was why not to convert to museum. If people go and see all those kind of things there. But it was not successful. It was then dismantled. Virat. Right, Virat is from Russian side we have got. But why I have written this name, the reason is that there was earlier Vikrant, which was Royal Navy of UK, England there. But now we are going to have our own indigenous Vikrant. And that is going to be sea trial next year. Right? And there's the name of a company. Which is the company which is making this Vikrant in India? Kochi Shipyard Limited, Kochi, Kerala. There we are building this Vikrant. Right? Right now what we have in operation is Vikramaditya. Kochi Shipyard Limited in Kerala, we are building this Vikrant there, second Vikrant. And then we'll have what? Vikrant class. We'll build more of that. Right? Then Virat I have said. Virat, again we are making indigenous Virat also. Right? So another class comes aircraft carrier. Third class of what I'm writing here, a very important name I'm writing, corvettes. DRDO is also known for making corvettes. What is the corvette? Corvette is that kind of warship which is for submarine defense, anti-submarine warfare, what is called ASW. Right, is for what? Anti-submarine warfare. ASW, anti-submarine warfare. So anti-submarine warfare. So submarine attack. It can protect from submarine attack, underwater attack. Right, anti-submarine warfare. For that we have corvette. And I'll give you one example, INS Kamota. This name is the Kamota, INS. This is named after an island from this one, Bay of Bengal. So INS Kamota, this is a corvette. Or India में जो corvette है, we have a company, very old company, which is building such kind of corvettes, and is located in Kolkata. कई बार आपको ऐसे कई बार जैसे न्यूज़ आएगा तो पढ़ने को मिलेगा, GRSE नाम है, Garden Rich Shipbuilders Engineers Private Limited. Now it is a government company. Earlier it was a private company, but now it has been acquired by Defense Ministry of Defense. Garden Rich Shipbuilders Engineers Private Limited. So that is building corvettes. So you'll find landing ship, surveillance, Coast Guard, all these they use different classes of there. But particularly these three comes important. Right. Now I'm coming to submarines. Now how many types of submarines are there? So let me write here. So submarines when you talk about, same column which I am coming, submarines when you talk about, there are two types of submarines. Conventional word is used, and nuclear powered submarine, two submarines. What is a conventional submarine? Diesel powered. So let me write here. We have here diesel powered, diesel electric powered. So can you give name of such submarine which is diesel electric powered? कलवरी ओके सी इसका बहुत अच्छा तरीका है. कभी भी अगर ऐसे क्वेश्चन फैक्चुअल आ जाता है, फैक्ट बेस्ड आता है और वहाँ पूछा जाता है, तो वहाँ पर ये याद रखना है, जैसे कि कोई भी ऐसा नाम होगा सिंधु, स्टार्ट विद सिंधु वर्ड, so this refer to submarines. So let's say for the INS Sindhu Ghosh, Sindhu Ratna. Why I have named this two? Sindhu Ghosh and Sindhu Ratna now destroyed in fire. The submarines have been destroyed. Then Sindhu Kesari, Sindhu Durg, right? All these are submarines. These are all conventional submarines. And all these submarines we have purchased from Russia. But now there is change in this case, partner, what he has given the name. So I'll give you example here. Later I'll give you both example. One example I have given here, let's say Sindhu Ratna. Right, Sindhu Ratna, which is now a history there. It has been destroyed in fire. Sindhu Ratna. And second, what he has named, Calvary, there's something called Project 75. And there's one very important company in south of Mumbai. What is the name of the company which is building this submarine? There's a conventional submarine, but what is the difference? Fast attack submarine. उस कंपनी का नाम आया भी है न्यूज में. क्या नाम है? What is the name of that company? Mazgaon Dock Limited. There's a name called Mazgaon. Let me write separately here. It is named Mazgaon Dock Limited. And what is the name of the company or which country we are having this Calvary built? Calvary and all has been built there. France. What is the name of the company? DCNS. Let me write it. There is a France company, right? DCNS is the France company, has entered an agreement with Mazgaon Dock Limited, right? And under Make in India program, we are making 6 submarines. We have the project called Project 75. Let me write here. Project 75, and the 6. What type of submarine? What is the name of the submarine? There is a name given, Scorpion. Scorpion class submarine. So now I am giving the name here. INS Calvary was commissioned and INS Khanderi. This year we had Khanderi. I'll provide again information. India has a dedicated research into making submarines. Many of the submarines we have acquired from Russia. And such submarine diesel powered are called, named prefix with Sindhu. So when it comes there, submarines are there. But now we have a new partner from France, DCNS, and helping India to build advanced kind of submarine there. Fast attack submarine. And that project is called Project 75. And we have now built 2 and put on sea trial, Calvary and Khanderi, Scorpion class. That I was about to come there. There was in the news about leakage of data. This one. Now that was very tragedy that how come that data, such confidential data, was leaked out in Australia. Now generally, what was the thing there? Actually, it's not very clear there. What is it? Something he sent through the parcel or something. This kind of document there. Prototypes, and then it came to the hands of the media, and all this came into that. But then again, now your matter is put off. Now you don't come across this one. You have to sort it out. That government has to care. It should not become more public about those kind of because all these are sensitive. When the defense part, all the sensitive thing comes there, right? Is it clear? So we have one type of conventional submarine, and there can be advanced also. And second class of submarine is called nuclear powered. So which India has got nuclear powered? Arihant is there. Now, nuclear powered submarine Arihant is based on again Russian technology. Is based on Russian technology. The name Arihant. Can you name that submarine of India which was earlier acquired and then Arihant was developed? Arihant is what? Nuclear powered. What is the nuclear power? Reactor. Nuclear reactor is there for propulsion. I'll give you the name there. INS Chakra. Actually, INS Arihant is the indigenous form of, let me write here, INS Chakra. INS Chakra Russian है, वो पहले हमने purchase किया. We bought this one, and based on that technology transfer, we developed Arihant. So Arihant was commissioned 2009. It was already put into trial and all this. So we are now going to have Arihant class of submarines, nuclear powered submarine. Okay? So 2 aspects comes in naval system there. One is warship and I'll give it submarine. And then comes there are other things also which I'll put there. Now next what comes here? Air defense. Now tell me in air defense, the technology is there. Fighter crafts. What comes there? Fighter crafts. So which all companies have come into that first fighter crafts? Westland is there. Fighter crafts and all. Now, which we are using right now? Name those fighter crafts. Tejas is the Indian. Okay. Which more we are using that? So Tejas, light combat aircraft Tejas. This is what we have been there, but we have been using MiG 27, MiG 29. 27 has been retired. MiG 29, Kargil war. At that time we used that MiG. MiG is which country? Russia. And from Russia, there I've mentioned there another type of fighter craft, Sukhoi. Now, which comes another country there? France. What is the name there? Mirage. Mirage 2000. That is the name given. And then recently, Rafale. Rafale. How many we have purchased Rafale? 36 to be acquired there. So Rafale and Mirage. The name is called Dassault. Dassault is the name of the company, right? But again, I have written there, but these are not indigenous. Only indigenous Tejas. What we have worked to develop. What comes the next year? Helicopters. So India is good in making helicopters, and we are selling to other countries also, and we are earning the money also. So the Dhruv comes example here. Chetak is also there. So now see here, what I've given, Dhruv is a reactor also, and Dhruv is a helicopter also. And yesterday I mentioned advanced light helicopter, ALH. Right now we have Chetak and this all part. Though we are also developing new helicopters there, but again you know that Augusta Westland deal and all this was chopper scam, all this came into the news there. Okay, how this, and now all these are moving very fast. All the inquiry and CBI and all, there's all this making very fast there. Right, तो वो पता है इसमें कई सारे kickback हैं, scams हैं, all these are there. Right, now the last part of that. Apart from this air defense, यहाँ पर जो है, there's also comes something on air defense. You all are aware of it, which DRDO has worked to develop. And it's called in popular language drone. Drones there. So what is it's called unmanned aerial vehicle. So what comes third here? UAV. Now name any latest UAV which you are aware. Unmanned aerial vehicle. Pilotless, remotely controlled vehicle. Netra, okay. एक और है बहुत अभी काफी 2-3 years से न्यूज में. I'll write the example here. Rustam 1 and Rustam 2. ठीक है, एक तो अक्षय कुमार Rustam is there, and another Rustam is there. Rustam 2. इसको कुछ कहा गया है, कुछ नाम दिया गया है. The new generation Rustam has been given a name. I write separately there. The name of this Rustam, let me write here. This name of this Rustam has been given Tapas. There is a name with Tapas given, TAPAS. ठीक है, क्या होता है ये unmanned aerial vehicle? It flies in the atmosphere, goes to 4 kilometers, 5 kilometers. We can control from the ground, and it carries cameras. It has a powerful resolution cameras, and we can use for surveillance, or even you can say reconnaissance. We can gather information, spying, right? What Americans do? They have weapon system which they can have for combat attack. What do you know? AFPAC war, Afghanistan-Pakistan war. The US from Pentagon used to control those kind of drone. Tapas government of India has made it clear that we will not use for the combat kind of thing. It's only for surveillance and all this. But you are all right. What you said, Netra is also there. Now Netra has come into the news because of their CRPF. CRPF has been given Netra UAV, and this Netra UAV is being used for surveillance to the jungle, that forest area. You know that Maoist or Naxalite affected areas. And in that case, Netra can be of help to the paramilitary forces there. Right? Before Netra, there was Lakshya. So from name you can figure it out. Lakshya means target acquisition. This UAV can fly to find out targets. अभी कुछ हुआ था? Few months back, what was the surgical strike? Right? When we did that, night time. Right? That was it. All the camps were destroyed. So from where we can get? Then UAV also comes into that. We know that exactly where the locations are there, intelligence input, and then we can carry out the surgical strike, with targeted strike, and very less span of time. Like within 1 or 2 hours, you have to do your job and come back. Right? You cannot stay there other side of the border there. So such kind of UAV can be of help there. Yes, indigenous we are trying to develop. This Rustam is the one here. No, that's actually telling. What is saying that? Okay, apart from this, what we are talking defense part. What about the civilian use? See, very good. He said medical use in America and all this, US. Even UAV can be used for normal civilian security in terms of police and all. Let's say we know that sometimes big celebration, or let's say Independence Day, and there you have this kind of UAV flying in the surveillance part. so that any suspect or any unwanted people towards can be prevented, right? So that is also can be done. But actually, I'll tell you, this question is valid in the sense because whatever DRDO labs are developing later on can be transferred to the market. Let's say if you develop this kind of technology, UAV, later on we can give to private players and they can develop and can use for variety of applications. It can be done there. But initially the investment comes from government of India to acquire the technology and develop the technology. Right? So in defense case, missile, these three areas comes into that. I've just given few examples in that case, right? Now what I'll do here is that, what I explained here in terms of strategic area, today DRDO is now also into life sciences. We are doing research in the life sciences also there, right? So let me do one thing here. What I gave you the yesterday in terms of flow chart, there's all things, then space science and technology, and then today DRDO development part. So I'll put across something on the words there, right? I'll give you certain paragraphs there, and then later on I'll play a documentary. You'll see a documentary on the development part, right? So let's go into that. So you can write there about things what I've covered, and let me add in that part. Okay, now you can write there in the note copy. The Department of Atomic Energy, DAE, the Department of Atomic Energy, apostrophe S, DAE, apostrophe S, vision is to empower India, vision is to empower India through nuclear technology, comma, creation of more wealth, WALTH, and providing better quality, creation of more wealth and providing better quality of life to its citizens. Providing better quality of life to its citizens. You first of same paragraph. Quality of life to its citizens. Now right. DAE is engaged in the design. DAE is engaged in the design, comma, construction and operation of nuclear power, and research reactors, and the supporting nuclear fuel cycle, technologies, to achieve these objectives. Nuclear fuel cycle technologies to achieve these objectives. Now taking first of same paragraph, third sentence. Advanced technologies such as accelerators, comma, lasers, comma, supercomputers, comma, advanced materials, and instrumentation, are developed to encourage transfer of technology are developed to encourage transfer of technology to industry, to industry, to industry. You have to stop there. Same paragraph, to industry. The department is also engaged in the department is also engaged in the development of the department is also engaged in the development of radiation technologies, and their THEIR, their applications for better crop varieties, applications for better crop varieties, comma, same sentence, techniques for crops protection, comma, radiation based post dash harvest technologies, radiation based post harvest technologies, comma, techniques for radio diagnosis and radiotherapy, techniques for radio diagnosis and radiotherapy of diseases, particularly cancer, comma, technologies for safe drinking water, comma, better environment and industrial growth, technologies for safe drinking water, comma, better environment and industrial growth. I have given a lengthy sentence, but in that sentence I marked these areas where it has contributed there. Means exam में बहुत पहले एक question आया था. Just going back to this part which I have given there, there was a question asked. Let me just write the term there. Earlier, you know that before 2013, right? There used to be two GS papers, GS paper 1 and 2 in the mains exam. And GS paper 1, there used to be all topic like history, polity and all, and paper 2 used to have science and technology. And 100 marks, out of 300 marks, 100 marks used to be science and technology. There at that time, question used to be very direct. Write in 50 words, write in 100 words, and the names of technology used to be given. Like telemedicine was asked, right? Cloud computing has been asked. Now there was a question in 2011 paper, you'll find that there's a 50 words, one has to write in 50 words, and the name of the technology, just to, as an example of previous year question, Nisar Runa. You'll find when you look at question paper, there's a term given, Nisar Runa. This is what I've given the sentence there, the application of where DA is engaged. Now Nisar Runa, this has come later in the news again there. It was there in the news at that time, but again, 2-3 years back, it has again came in the news. Any idea in the classroom who is aware of what is Nisar Runa? If you come across this term there. It's linked to DAE. This is what I've given the notes part, based on a Department of Atomic Energy there. See, Nisar Runa is a solid waste treatment plant. I've given an environment. If you look at the DAE, what I've given there? Radiation therapy, I've given the example Bhavatron as a part of that. So what is Nisar Runa? Let me write the point here. If you look at, just take an example here. So it is a part of that solid waste. It's very important word is solid waste, not the sewage. Solid waste treatment plant. There this nuclear technology has been used. It was asked that time in the UPSC mains exam because first Nisar Runa was installed in Vadodara in Gujarat. That was the question came in the exam. In Vadodara in Gujarat, there was first installation, and that was the question made in the examination there. But later on, it is other places, Mr. Runa. So you can say what is an environment-friendly technology, right? Which can take care of solid waste, like say paper waste, plus all those kind of biodegradable. Again, remember that biodegradable, not non-biodegradable, which can be degraded. And what is so unique about this technology? It generates methane gas. You can say biomethanation. It produces the methane gas. Bark has developed this technology, it generates the methane gas. And whatever the organic material which is left after treatment is something called sludge, right? That organic sludge, this organic sludge can be used as fertilizer, as green manure. So it can be used in agriculture as a green manure. So you can say the multi-purpose technology. It can take care of environment because such municipal solid waste can be treated. Generate methane gas, which you know there is a combustible gas. It can go for cooking, boiling, any kind of application. Plus whatever sludge is there after treatment can be used as a fertilizer. Right? And Vadodara had this, so came to. So it's not that you have to only know about power generation. The DA is involved with power generation and reactor technology. DA is also used in food preservation. I've given the written part, food preservation, food processing, different varieties of them, radiotherapy, radio diagnosis, all this area it is involved, right? So now after that you can write there. DAE also contributes to the basic research. DAE also contributes to the basic research in nuclear science. Basic research in nuclear science, comma, interaction with universities and academic institutions, comma, support to R&D projects, institutions, comma, support to R&D projects and international cooperation in mega science projects. International cooperation in mega science projects. Okay, now I'll ask question to the class. Name mega science project where DA is involved, or nuclear science will come into that. It's a mains exam when you write, for example, mains exam, the question comes from atomic energy, something on this part, 200 words. So remember that when you write answer, provide examples. That's what you see that right from yesterday, I've been giving you so many examples in terms of information base. Prelims exam is again based on the how much information base you have. Mains exam will be very specific, but when you write answer, you can support with examples. And your example will make a lot of difference. Why? If you give example from reports or such kind of thing, which is very different from other students who are writing the answer there. So that adds value, that you have read reports, you know exactly what BARC has done, or DAE has been doing that. So now I have said mega science projects. Now tell me mega science projects which you are aware, which is linked with nuclear science, basic research and any advanced research. And there the DAE has contributed. Any example, you are aware of it. Our scientists, Indian scientists, are part of those mega science projects. And I can give 2-3 examples, which are there for last 2-3 years. मैंने कल भी बताया था क्लास में. Let me write here. So this all we are doing under the project, this policy framework, because India wants to grow in the knowledge power economy, want to become a top ranking country in the case of scientific research. And we are trying to promote through policy intervention. So what I'm coming here, one example is this CERN, Geneva. And I'll give you very good example, Large Hadron Collider, LHC. So what is the word here? Collider. What is collider? Accelerator, cyclotron. How big is this LHC? 10 kilometer circumference. You talk circumference, I'm talking not radius, circumference, 10 kilometers. Where Franco-Geneva border, France and Geneva border, is such a lab, CERN lab has built. And DAE labs and scientists were part of it. Our scientists engineers being servicing and maintenance of this collider, which led to discovery of Higgs boson particle. Right? So here the India's contribution. Did you get that? First mega science project I'm giving example is a Large Hadron Collider, which is built in CERN Geneva. So our DAE scientists were part of the project. So that is the first mega science project. India is the international project collaboration. Second. Now give me examples again. Question I have है, this 2016 there is a question asked on that project, and Indian scientists are working on that. And it is totally coming from DAE. DAE is a partner in that project. ITER. What I'm giving example, ITER. What does ITER stands for? Is again linked with France there. International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. Let me write here. ITER project is International Thermonuclear. There was a direct question asked in 2016 paper, PT exam. Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor. Now this is built in south of France. This the name of the place is called Cadarache, Cadarache, and DA is involved with this. Cadarache is a place in south of France, Cadarache, and there world's first commercial nuclear power plant based on hydrogen fusion power. Now imagine that today all this nuclear power reactor we are using uranium or plutonium and all this, right? But these are what? Not abundant, limited. But if you talk about hydrogen, what sun has got, sun and star has got, it can solve all the energy problem of future. If you can develop a power reactor which can combine hydrogen and fusion, that's what the word is thermonuclear, right? Very high temperature. So this is what we've done there, and DA is a partner in the project. Which other countries are there apart from India? India is one country, DA is supporting this. Others is China, Russia, US, Japan, European Union. Then France comes into that. They are partner of that case. Second, now give me another third example, mega science project. Very good. Which this year question came, right? So LIGO. What does LIGO stands for? Laser Interference Gravitational Wave Observatory. Right? I'll write the full form. LIGO stands for Laser Interference. And there was a direct question asked in this year exam. दो ऐसे क्वेश्चन है जो से लिंक्ड है. एक क्वेश्चन है स्टैंडर्ड मॉडल स्ट्रिंग थ्योरी is linked with what? That is study of universe. Right, is part of that part. And second is was given ELISA. Right, laser interference case there. So laser interference gravitational wave observatory. So where this LIGO project has been working there, this observatory, this is working in the US. Right, and three universities have partner of that. There is a Caltech, MIT, and Louisiana. Right, actually the LIGO project goes for three universities: Caltech, California Institute of Technology, MIT, and then University of Louisiana. But actually it is an international project. Thousands of scientists coming from 15 countries are part of LIGO project. Right? तो यहाँ पर क्या concept किस पे आया है? ये इस पे gravitational wave. ठीक, क्या किया गया था वहाँ पर? Any idea? You have read from current aspect there. What exactly this was done there? A gravitational wave. Now, what exactly? How they perform that experiment?
Signals in the space.
Yes, that's. No, that is a. What you are saying is the European. This LISA. LISA is that case of sending there. But this LIGO, this is ground based. ये मैं इसलिए बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि something is linked in India also. Let me draw this. What they have done, they created this kind of tunnel. They made 4-kilometer tunnel, perpendicular 90 degree, and this kind of tunnel. And they passed this laser beam. This name is laser. And what is it? They use sophisticated lenses and mirrors. Of that shows that technological advancement. Very, very sophisticated optical system they developed. And what was done? This laser beam of light, which will go there, will reflect. And what is the term here? Interference. What is interference? Addition, superposition of waves, right? Same way they sent it to another end, here this one, and was there coming back. And what is the concept of gravitational wave says? That will stretch time, space and time. See that space, even remember that here in this classroom, gravitational wave is coming. We will not be able to see that something is moving and contract and expanding. No, it happens at atomic scale, at the level of atom. So it has to have a very high technological kind of development. So what was done? Two collapsing black hole, what they claimed, two collapsing black holes, when they merged and brought about the change in space-time as given Albert Einstein. And that waves were captured by this LIGO experiment. Why? What happened? If there is some kind of contraction, there will be change in the path of the laser. And that will be intercepted interference there. And able to detect the signal. That was what they. Again, they detected other waves also there. It was come in the newspaper. Right. So why I'm explaining this one? Because UPSC will not ask you to draw a diagram and explain Albert Einstein and all. This will not be there. But when you write main exam answer, there's something in terms of development. What I want to write in LIGO. There was success there. Indian scientists were part of LIGO project, and government of India has given in principle approval to make same kind of system. What India will have. So now based on this, what India is going to have? Indian LIGO. We are going to have Indian LIGO. And where in India will have such kind of facility? Hingoli, Maharashtra. So what I've done here, just to try to make you understand what I've given written part, 3 major mega science projects. And all such mega science project question has come in the UPSC exam. That is part of that. So this is what you remember. Now we can, I'm coming to next paragraph we write. This is what 3 examples I've given, now write there. So remember, India has developed 3-stage nuclear power program. India has developed 3-stage nuclear power program, comma, consisting of development in, same sentence you will write, development in, and if you want to write a short form, you can write, yesterday I have already given in flowchart, development BWR. What is BWR? Boiling water reactor. Development in BWR, boiling water reactor, comma, PWR, simply write PWR, pressurized water reactor. I'll tell you why I'm giving pressurized water reactor. It can be normal water, it can be heavy water, both. So pressurized water reactor, comma, FBR and AHWR, fast breeder reactor and AHWR, advanced heavy water reactor, right? Now after giving full stop, you write, India is a leading producer of radioisotopes. India is the leading producer of radioisotopes in the world. And radioisotopes are used as a leading producer of radioisotopes, and radioisotopes are being used in nuclear medicine and agriculture. Now, I'll come to that. What is asked that how such radioisotopes can be used in agriculture. Medicine, you understand those cobalt 60, iodine 131. Now, anyone in the classroom who can tell me how these isotopes, radiation based, can be used in agriculture? Depth. So that is how it will be possible to do that?
There are two sets. One contains the radioisotope and other is the detector.
Detectors, right?
There is some water between the layers.
Change radiation part, and that can be signature can be captured. Yes, sir. Yeah. This one he has given very advanced level of technology in terms of soil moisture there. But I'll give you a simple example. I'll come to simple part of it. Let me write here. Agriculture part. If you recall, I have given in the notes also. If you read there, given food production. I'll come to that. You all know hybrid. Very simple example again, which will always remember that. Hybrid crops. How we make hybrid crops? Let's say rice or wheat or something. What are the techniques for hybrid crops? Today in agriculture we have those varieties. See, one is what? Crossbreeding, interbreeding. Agriculture scientists, they carry out this crossbreeding and interbreeding there. And then through breeding program, we are able to generate hybrid varieties of seeds. This one method is there. Second way of developing hybrid varieties or high yield varieties is genetic modification. We can also use genetic engineering from biotechnology and can make high yield varieties. It's possible. Right? It is possible today with the help of modern biotechnology. We can have gene transfer, genetic engineering, or we can do some kind of manipulation and can make the high yield varieties. Right? This is also possible there. And third is nuclear technology. We can make hybrid crops using nuclear technology. Now what I'm writing here, gamma radiation, right, based high yield variety seeds can be there. Now what is done there? Seeds are taken, seeds, right, and controlled dose of gamma rays, right, is given. So what will gamma rays will do? You know, gamma rays are highly penetrating, will cause what? DNA mutation, change in the gene. And then what scientists do? They screen out. So there may be also high yield varieties. And I'm giving you example from bark. Bark has developed here, what I'm writing is Trombe varieties. There's Trombe crop varieties are there. These Trombe crop varieties have been developed. And one example of a crop variety which has been developed using gamma radiation processing, right, and being today grown in land, agricultural land, is called groundnut. There's something called TAG, TAG 24. This is basically Trombe. A stand for Akula, right? Akula, and G stand for groundnut. Mungfali. Akula is a place in Maharashtra. There this particular variety is being grown. Right? We have done for pulses also. Different type of varieties have been made. और ये सब जो मैं बता रहा हूँ ये सारा मार्केट में गया है ऐसा नहीं है but generally we are not aware because we don't go through such kind of reports where this information is given. So bark scientists have developed. एक तो एक ये एग्रीकल्चर का हो गया. मैं एक और अच्छा एग्जाम्पल हॉर्टिकल्चर एंड वन एग्जाम्पल इज व्हाट फ्लावर्स. ठीक है, तो आज जो रोज डे, फादर्स डे, मदर्स डे, वैलेंटाइंस डे, all these are there. So you realize that how these flowers remain fresh. They may be not grown in Delhi, na? They may be coming from outside. But in Mumbai, I'll give you an example. Dadar, if you go to Dadar, is all flower market is there. And there are flowers which are sold in the Mumbai market. They have come through gamma radiation processing. Because today using low dose gamma rays, the freshness of vegetable and flowers can possible.
Is it not harmful?
Now question is it not harmful? You're using gamma rays and then flowers. तो ये controlled condition में किया जाता है, उसको certify करते हैं. That is certified by the central government. Otherwise, it will not come to the market, right? Even spices, garam masala, onion, pulses, all have been radiation processed there, right? That will all be done there. All right. Now what I'll do here is that what I've given the information there. Now Trombe and all this part, and I'll provide you this soft copy also. I have got this soft copy, and that will be uploaded there where you'll find this all in examples given, which has come from there. Now let me come to this part. I'll play a documentary here. What is it? And then I'll come back to again written part of it. Now what you watch here, space technology development. I have already mentioned that, and I will play into that. Then I'll come to space development program and the defense. Today I have explained the defense part. I'll give you the written part of that also. Where is the video? Let me come to that. अच्छा एक मेरे पास बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियो है लेकिन वो साइंस टेक से नहीं जुड़ा हुआ. लेटर ऑन मैं I'll play that one. You want to see that? I'll only play a small part of it, just 30 seconds and 1 minute. There's one type of animal found in Africa, right? I'll tell you that दोपहर का टाइम बहुत डेंजरस होता है, आफ्टरनून टाइम, right? People goes in dozing mode. There's one type of animal, so sometimes when the people are in sleepy mode, then I play this particular one. Is it open there? Okay, it's open there. Let me see if sound system works well. Okay. Light का देखना पड़ेगा. Elephants, right? So this documentary is a part of BBC, which gives you the mammals, different type of mammals. I played this one because I said afternoon time is very dangerous one. You have seen what happens there. So what is the name of the animal? Meerkat. M-E-R-C-K-A-T. K-A-T is the and meerkat is very unique animals in defense mechanism. What you have seen that. So in Africa, this came into the news also there. And South Africa is going to have a telescope, radio telescopes, and they've given the name meerkat. So what you've seen that they have a observation. They keep on watching that part. So telescopes are used for again watching the galaxies and all this part. So just from the animal perspective, this is what you have seen that. But I'm coming to the what we are learning in the classroom there in terms of the development there. So this is the ISRO, the story of ISRO, how ISRO has developed. Now, what I'll go into that, if you look at here, see if any what part is one is that you follow current aspect from the like Vision IAS or any website or magazine or another thing. What I want to bring about, you sometimes find time and then go to the ISRO website. I'm just opening the ISRO website so that you know exactly what is the information given in the website there. See in the ISRO website, you'll have like here links with the missions here. Like GSAT 17, you know that Kourou, French Guiana, and we launched with the help of France support, Ariane 5, Ariane rocket is there. Now here you'll find that the missions have been given there. You'll find all those in terms of Mars orbital mission. Then you have this called LVM-3X CARE. CARE was nothing but a space recovery module, right, which was sent to the outer space and brought back to the Earth. It is a very old one. It's already been 3 years there. AstroSat, you have the information there. Then you find all the latest missions, GSAT 17, PSLV C-38, Cartosat 2 series, all these have been given. And you also have the future program also, which have said that we are going to replace one satellite from INSS. So now very soon we'll have this INSS 1H to be put up, because earlier it was 1G, 7 satellite was there, but one got defective, so we are going to have another H name there. Isn't that right? Then you have what here? GSAT 6A mission. And what you find here? GSLV F08. See, whenever you come across this word, F08, F05, right, these all are the GSLV Mark II version. Now, Mark II version can put into orbit around 2,500 to 3,000 kilogram satellite, right, heavier satellite, and we are launching with the GSAT there. So what you find in the website, you'll find all those latest one, and also what ISRO is planning there. There's information given there. And I believe this is the best source to go from the current perspective. Any information you want to follow, right? Now, further, when you go to spacecraft, here. So what you have here, communication, Earth observation, navigation, space science, experimental small satellite, and university academic institution satellite. Now let me click on this one. Another very important thing what you find, academic satellite or student satellite, right? There have been in the past number of student satellites which have been launched as a passenger, co-passenger with the main satellite, right? We have even launched foreign student satellite also, like Japan or Russia, we have done that. Now, if you look at here, in this case, there will be timeline will be given there. You will find here name mentioned into that. I'll just open this. Here, the list of this one. You'll find the right hand side. There's a link there. When you open that link, you'll find here this all name given. Again, remember that you don't have to memorize the 10 years back or 7 years back. You require the present year or the last year. So I'll just highlight this one. If you can look at here, this part which comes here, Pratham. The one is NIU set. Just recently it was there, right? And what is here? Cartosat 2 series, and with that we have launched that. And when you click on that, it will give you the explanation, detail of this particular student satellite. Now here what Pratham, IIT Bombay satellite, then PSAT. There's a PES University Bangalore, PES University, student satellite. Remember that student satellites are not heavyweight satellites. They're just a small satellite or nano satellite. They may weigh up to 1 kilogram sometimes, like pizza box, or maybe sometimes 5 or 10 kilograms. And they are put into the orbit, just like normal satellites are placed. Right, this is what you find. So whatever topic I'm teaching in the classroom and the areas will, like today I've given you DAE. So you should go back to DAE website, see that what all publications, reports, any new current aspect is given, right, which can be a part of the question in the exam, right? So now I'll come to the space program. Now you can, in your part of that, this writing part, which I was explaining all this, and given you DAE part. Now continuing with the same part, I'll just close this website.
So what are these student satellites meant?
This is just only to,
Just for their training education.
All right. So what is her question? Why such a student satellite? What is the main aspect of that? Why we are having this kind of? One aspect is to make the universities, academic centers, the students to develop this kind of a temperament, to develop those kind of practical aspect. And in that case, motivate in terms of training and in terms of development part. That's what the ISRO is helping out, outreach in that part there, right? Now, if you look at here, what I said was that in terms of, no, write this, ISRO, ISRO within DOS, ISRO within DOS has played important role within DOS, Department of Space, within Department of Space has played important role in providing services to common man. Important role in providing services to common man. Now, after giving full stop, same paragraph. Right. In India is the only country. India is the only country which embarked EMBARKED, embarked on development of space program, in a civilian domain, embarked on development of space program in a civilian domain. What I want to say here by this sentence is that other countries, like say US and Russia, when they developed, they had the military purpose in keeping in mind that defense missile and all this. But we right from day one, and one example you have seen in the video is that 1975, Indian, like ISRO, borrowed American satellite to go for broadcasting, which was a very important. 2,500 villages were covered in terms of education, family planning, agriculture. That was what objective was. And yesterday I mentioned that tele-education, telemedicine, all those factors comes into that. Same paragraph to give full stop, right? If you write this, in the past 40 years, ISRO developed infrastructure for a space program, starting with the launch of a rocket, in Thumba, THUMBA, in 1963. Launch of a rocket in Thumba in 1963 to study the winds, WINDS, winds in the upper atmosphere. To study the winds in the upper atmosphere and ionosphere. And Thumba is in Kerala. Winds in the upper atmosphere and ionosphere. I have already said sounding rocket. That is it. You have first of there. Now later on, after same period, later on, India's first experimental satellite. Aryabhatta, was launched in 1975. India's first experimental satellite, Aryabhatta, was launched in 1975 with the support of Soviet Union. Now last sentence is paragraph. After you give full stop there. Today, India is proud to have launched. India is proud to launch more than 100 satellites, including foreign satellites. Right? So when you write main exam answer, so there you have to bring about. And since last year already question came, UPSC will not ask, but essay type something, you can bring about that. Right, now, next paragraph, right? Next paragraph. Write this. The operation of PSLV, the operation of PSLV in 1993, the operation of PSLV in 1993 was a major milestone. Operation of PSLV in 1993 was a major milestone in launch vehicle technologies. In launch vehicle technology. In launch vehicle technology. You have stop there. With the success of indigenous cryogenic engine, with the success of indigenous cryogenic engine, developed in the past 5 years, comma, ISRO developed in the past 5 years, comma, ISRO is going forward to develop manned spacecraft. ISRO is going forward to develop manned spacecraft. To develop manned, M-A-N-N-E-D, manned spacecraft. Now, one last sentence in this. Recently, manned spacecraft, give a full stop. Recently, there was successful testing of scramjet, SCRAMJ-JET, scramjet technology and RLV, I've yesterday already said, reusable launch vehicle, RLV-TD, technology demonstrator. RLV-TD in 2016. RLV-TD in 2016. Now the last paragraph, next we can write. Reusable launch vehicle, that is a manned spacecraft. Let me explain that, then I'll go to the last paragraph. Scramjet, I've used the word scramjet. Now remember that, what does the rocket does? Rocket carries on fuel and oxidizer. Why it carries oxidizer? Because it has to go outside atmosphere, where there will be no air required for this. Now how this, see, scramjet today, this is what we have discussed, laser, missiles. Today missile works on ramjet, scramjet, fighter craft works on those kind of technology. Because there the fuel is burnt with air from outside, oxygen from there. Now how it comes to rocket technology, I'll tell you that. Like when we talk about reusable launch vehicle, which will go outside to the atmosphere and to the outer space. But I have said re-entry, when it comes re-entry. So there two type of technology exist, air breathing and non-air breathing. So when a rocket carries oxidizer, is a non-breathing kind of system there. Because oxidizer will help burning the fuel. But when you talk about breathing system, that particular scramjet, right, where in atmosphere the air can be taken to burn. And you know, there is a purpose not only for manned spacecraft, for this kind of reusable, is even for efficiency in the atmosphere when we have liftoff. Again, that kind of technology can be used. We can save our fuel, but we burn the solid and liquid. So and the speed factor also there. No, nuclear fuel will be very costly because nuclear fuel, again, you know, uranium and that. What is asking, why don't we use that one? Instead of using solid and liquid fuel, why don't we go for nuclear fuel? We can do that, but again, technology in terms of no country has done that. And it is again, you have to working to develop there. But again, mostly it has come into solid or liquid based propellant system, that what comes here. Like cryogenic only is the exception where you use liquefied hydrogen as a part of, but it can be developed. What I'm saying, it can be developed. Future, nobody knows. There can be nuclear powered kind of a rocket which can be developed. Like NASA, what are you saying that? Can be that, right? Now you can write there. Last paragraph, you write. Last paragraph. Now right, today, comma, India has established space systems. India has established space systems that form an important element. Important element of the national infrastructure. That form an important element of the national infrastructure. Now I have to give first of there. National infrastructure. India successfully India successfully sent, SENT, sent its Chandrayaan 1. India successfully sent its Chandrayaan 1 spacecraft, Chandrayaan 1 spacecraft in November 2008, in November 2008, and became the fourth individual country to send Mars orbital mission. Simply write MOM, MOM, to send MOM to the planet Mars. Send MOM, that is Mangalyaan, to the planet Mars. I will first stop there. AstroSat is the first astronomical satellite. Give an oblique there, slash. Astronomical satellite, give a slash, oblique, observatory, astronomical observatory. To study first astronomical satellite, oblique, observatory, to study neutron stars, and high energy events in deep universe, DEEP, deep universe, high energy events in deep universe, right? So let's, sometimes quasar, pulsar, supernova, let's say example supernova. For that we have AstroSat there. Now, last figure, right? India's first solar observatory, Aditya, will study outer atmosphere of the sun. India's first solar observatory, Aditya, will study outer atmosphere of the sun to explore solar flares. Keep full stop there. What are the harmful effects of these solar flares? Yesterday I have given the word CME, coronal mass ejection. So what a harmful effect it will have to the Earth? It happens to Earth when it comes there. Huh? Burn certain areas, okay? No, if you get exposure. Other than that, other problems which normally northern hemisphere, there the country like Canada and all, they experience whenever this event happens there. It affects the telecommunication. Why? Because the satellites are there in the outer space, and particularly in terms of the magnetic field, because this such kind of powerful particles or waves which comes, electromagnetic waves, will affect with the signaling part. It has been observed that northern hemisphere countries, they face the problem. Even it is also said that if the event is very powerful, such powerful solar flares comes, it can also disturb the power. Power failure can also happen. Because the electric wire which carries the power, it also has a magnetic field. That's it. एक और बहुत अच्छा इवेंट होता है जो आप सबको ज्योग्राफी से पता है, नॉर्दर्न लाइट्स, ऑरोरा बोरियलिस, right? This also happens because of those events there. And as you are very right, an astronaut who is in outer space and they get exposed to such harmful waves will develop all these problems, the skin disorders and cancer and all this. And those who fly, let's say those who fly during that event and they get exposed, so that this all health impact could be there. So that is another way of question to be asked. That's what I've asked the question, can be asked in that case, right? Now this is what I have just mentioned here. And what I've done is that I will now first go into things what I'm putting across here. And then I will come to the part of, I have prepared one PowerPoint. So what I will do is that other developments, let's say Earth Sciences, DBT, this I put in a PowerPoint. This will be uploaded today's classroom there. My objective was that 3 strategic areas, that part, space, defense and areas should be done properly in the class. And then we go to every concept one by one from next class onward. Now other development I put across in there, and we'll also see eminent Indians. Though I mentioned yesterday, I've brought into that. But before I start with that, I've gone into DRDO, defense. I'll go into the defense part also, and there again I'll mention something in paragraph form, and then we'll move to there's a PowerPoint there. So what I explained in the classroom in terms of the flow chart, missile technology, naval defense, air defense, you will come to know the recent development, though this documentary is not very recent one, very latest one, but even the things what you will learn now in the documentary, there have been questions asked in the exam, right? So, and since the Vision IAS provide you the online thing also, so it is always that you can always revise this kind of video there and can get to see the important aspect there. So now look at here, there's a DRDO.
Organization for Indian defense requirements. Over years, with the leadership of eminent scientists like Dr. Kothari, Professor Menon, the Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, has stemmed out from the vision of India's first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, to develop an independent research organization for Indian defense requirements. Over years, with the leadership of eminent scientists like Dr. Kothari, Professor Menon, Dr. Raja Ramanna, Dr. Kalam, DRDO has been striving hard to fulfill the needs of the armed forces. The aggressive efforts of DRDO in the recent past has brought in a quantum jump in the technologies of missiles, radars, electronic warfare, naval systems, armament and life sciences, elevating India on par with the advanced nations of the world. Prithvi, the medium-range surface-to-surface ballistic missile, Dhanush, ship-launched medium-range ballistic missile, have given the country a much-needed strategic deterrence capability. The long-range strategic missiles of Agni 1, 2, 3 and 4 have given the needed muscle strength to the nation, with a strike range of 300 kilometers to 4,000 kilometers. The successful testing of Agni 5, the 5,000 kilometers long-range surface-to-surface ballistic missile in 2012, has rocketed India into the select club of countries possessing such capability.
He announces the successful completion of mission A501.
We have made a history by successfully.
The successful launch of Agni 5 missile is a tribute to the sophistications and commitment to national causes on the part of India's scientific and technological community.
An Indo-Russian joint venture, BrahMos, the world's first supersonic cruise missile, which can be launched from land and sea, has been successfully inducted into the Indian Armed Forces. Akash, the highly agile anti-aircraft surface-to-air missile with multi-target engagement capability, has been inducted into the Indian Armed Forces. Air defense program, an effective shield against the incoming theater ballistic missiles from enemy territories, has successfully demonstrated the interception capabilities at low and high altitudes, making India the fourth nation in the world to have such technologies. The system is now ready for deployment to protect the Indian strategic locations and cities. Third generation fire and forget anti-tank missile NAG is undergoing final evaluation trials and will be inducted soon. Astra, a beyond visual range air-to-air missile, enables fighter pilots to lock on and shoot down enemy aircraft from a distance of more than 80 kilometers, was successfully tested and will be integrated on Sukhoi 30 and Tejas aircraft. Very recently, on 27 January 2013, underwater missile B-05 was test-fired from a specially made platform. With this, India has attained the capability of developing submarine-launched missiles. DRDO's contribution in India's prestigious first nuclear submarine, INS Arihant, has propelled the nation into an elite club of 6 most technologically advanced countries of the world. Lightweight torpedoes, advanced sonar system Panchendriya, hull-mounted advanced sonar Hamsa have been operationalized. Extensive sea trials of the torpedo Varunastra have been carried out. Initial operational clearance was accorded to light combat aircraft Tejas, which is flying towards meeting its commitment to the final clearance with completion of over 1,750 hours of flight. Airborne Early Warning and Control System with number of mission-related indigenous systems on board is undergoing final airborne evaluation trials. Many successful test flights of unmanned aerial vehicle Rustam-1 were completed, demonstrating a number of key technologies. Netra, the mini unmanned aerial vehicle, is being used by the Indian paramilitary forces for aerial surveillance. 110 Arjun tanks have been inducted into the operational commands of Indian Army, making India one of the few countries to have its own indigenous main battle tank. To meet the operational requirements of three services in the area of electronics, a number of radars like weapon locating radar, lightweight surveillance and target acquisition radar, low-level lightweight 3D radar have been successfully developed and trial evaluated. In the electronic warfare, the completion of Divya Drishti program with cluster integration of over 20 static and mobile stations was a major landmark. The development and demonstration of cathode and electron guns for multi-beam klystron and the successful demonstration of 100-watt peak power laser diode array are the stepping stones in harvesting microwave power for defense applications. DRDO has made good industrial base in the country with more than 3,000 industries working for defense. Also working with over 100 academic institutions for seeding basic and applied research required for future programs. Centers of Excellence has been set up in key areas and 4 research boards in the field of aero, armament, naval research and life science are utilized to invite research proposals from academic experts in areas of technical relevance to DRDO. While DRDO has been able to make significant contributions in weapon system development, the man behind the machine has not been forgotten either. DRDO has realized many products required for human protection and nature protection. Bulletproof jackets, breathing systems, farming in high-altitude areas, dengue, chikungunya, multi-insect repellent kit, food poison detection kit have been put to use. In the field of nuclear, biological and chemical technologies, a large number of DRDO systems, including recce vehicles, dosimeters, are in use. Solar-powered modular green shelters, biodigester for human waste management in oxygen enrichment has been developed and handed over to the Army. The biodigesters have been integrated in railway coaches and about 12,000 units are being commissioned in the Lakshadweep. DRDO has developed many social products as spin-offs. Lightweight caliper developed by DRDO has greatly benefited over 30,000 polio-affected children. 200 units of critical care ventilators have been installed at various hospitals. Spearheading the defense of the nation, leveraging ideas and innovation to strengthen India's security. This is DRDO for the Indian Defence Services, for every Indian and for India.
Spearhead was established in 1958 to spearhead R&D, research and development, R&D in defense technologies. Spearhead R&D in defense technologies. Now you give full stop there. Today, DRDO consists of more than 52 labs and establishments more than 52 labs and establishments. Now give me full stop there. Now write this up, one more sentence. DRDO, more than 52 labs and establishments, give a full stop there. Today you have written there, write this. DRDO has been working to develop missile technology. DRDO has been working to develop missile technology, comma, naval systems and designs, comma, electronics warfare, naval systems and designs, comma, electronics warfare, comma, aeronautics and avionics, AERONAUTICS, aeronautics and avionics, comma, armaments, ARMAMENT, armaments, comma, life sciences, etc. Now, next paragraph, after giving full stop, life sciences, etc. Next paragraph, defense R&D. Next paragraph, defense R&D led to the development of bulletproof jackets, comma, breathing systems, development of bulletproof jackets, comma, breathing systems, comma, farming in high altitude areas, comma, dengue, same sentence, dengue, comma, chikungunya, comma, multi insect repellent, comma, food poison, multi-insect repellent, comma, food poison detection kit, multi-insect repellent, comma, food poison detection kit, which have been put to use. You will full stop there. Same paragraph you read. In the field of nuclear, comma, biological, and chemical technologies, comma, a large number of DRDO systems, including reconnaissance, I'll write the spelling, RECONNAISSANCE, reconnaissance vehicle. What you see in the video, recce vehicles. I'll repeat the sentence. In the field of nuclear, biological and chemical technologies, comma, a large number of DRDO systems, including reconnaissance vehicles, comma, dosimeter, DOSIMETERS, dosimeters, and biomass, dosimeter, DOSI, not C, DOSI, dosimeters, and biomass have been developed. Dosimeter, I'm coming to that. Very soon I'm going to. Dosimeters and biomass have been developed. Now, what is dosimeter? I'll tell you. These are those kind of which can find out what type of constituent of a explosive is there, like nitroglycerin, TNT. Sometimes you know that when there is any kind of bomb, right, which is there, and the bomb diffusal squad, which goes there, and then after that they try to find out what actually was used in making that kind of bomb. They use a dosimeter. They find out what was the constituent there. So what I've given here, nuclear, biological, radiological, chemical part of thing. Their dosimeter, you have seen that small instrument. And I'll tell you one more thing. DRDO now is marketing those kind of products there. Now there has been a signature agreement between DRDO and one American company to hand over this technology and sell in the market there. right? Particularly to find out those kind of constraint there, dosimeter and all comes. One more sentence you have to write, where question came in the UPSC exam 2014, and you all know that, which have been discussed in the video also there. Bio toilet, biodigester for human waste management. So what is the bio toilet consist of? See, bio toilet is development of DRDO, but now it has been used for rural development and railways there. What exactly the biodigester contains? What is the actual bacteria? And the question came in the UPSC exam given fungal inoculum. Actually, the same kind of bacteria, what is called methanogenic bacteria or hydrolytic bacteria. Their culture is used in the biodigester. And all these human waste are degraded, broken down, and that is then released to the environment, right? This was what the basic concept was asked in the objective type question there. So the last sentence you can write this, biodigester, same paragraph, biodigester for human waste management, biodigester for human waste management, primarily developed to be used in glaciers, primarily developed to be used in glaciers areas, have found its use in railways, and have become a significant part of Swachh Bharat movement, right? ये full stop there. मुझे लगता है कि जैसे कि मेंस एग्जाम के लिए पीटी में तो डायरेक्ट जो मैं बता रहा हूँ इन्फॉर्मेशन उसके बेस क्वेश्चन आएगा, बट इन द मेन एग्जाम में क्या होता है, जैसे 200 वर्ड में लिखना होता है, तो यहाँ पर एक अभी रिसेंटली कुछ हुआ है, अगर आपको पता हो करंट न्यूज़ में कुछ हो रहा था, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी डिक्लाइन टू गो फॉर इनॉग्रेशन ऑफ कलाम, डॉक्टर कलाम इन रामेश्वरम. Have you got that? PMO has sent that to DRDO. There came in the news there. PMO to the DRDO and declined to go for that event. And then they have shifted the value. I'll tell you what is the thing there. Though we have today discussed all these achievements, missile technology, all those things, we have discussed that. Then warships, fighter craft, all these things are there. But still we are far behind. So today is the reality that we are not in a position to go for war with China, is a reality. Right? So, though in media there are a lot of hype creates. China is doing this and China is doing that and we should be this one. But sometimes we have to be very rational. What is our capability? And actually, government is not very happy with DRDO. There's a current situation, I'm saying that. Because in the past, whatever been given there has been very slow. The kind of development is very slow. But we cannot totally blame DRDO also. Let's say when you write critical analysis, you cannot develop. Why? It's always about based on policy matters, funding. Now I'll tell you who are the customer base of DRDO? Army, Navy and Air Force. They are their customers. Why? DRDO as a R&D lab only develop technologies. And this technology goes to the users are Army, Navy and Air Force. They use this kind of technologies there. Now what happens is that when it comes to national security, we require immediate kind of protection. We require latest technology immediately. So whether fighter craft or missiles or any armament or any kind of defense system. So in that case, the government has to go for bilateral agreement with other countries to buy those kind of military equipments. That's the requirement of Army, Air Force, Navy. But what happens is that when it comes to the development indigenous from DRDO, the pace of development is slow because one factor is the funding. And second factor is that Army, Navy and Air Force wants immediately. Right? India is not a developed country. India is a developing country. It requires a lot of time and effort to develop any good technology. We require time for that. तो जब आपको आंसर लिखना हो ये सारे पॉइंट्स को लाना होगा. You have to bring into that. Right? और हो सकता है कि इस बार के मेंस एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन कैन बी आस्क्ड in terms of defense sector. So there what I've said, it requires the funding part and then time. Time also becomes very important. What is the next thing? All these critical technologies are not easily transferred by any advanced countries. There is another limitation. Whether we talk about today Russian technology, all these are outdated technology. When Russia realize that it's not of that use, they'll say that, look, now you can use it. But they will not give their present advanced technology to India. Right? That is true with France also. Why? India is a market. India is a market for US, Russia, every other country there. So that only we try to get to those kind of technologies. That's what challenges are there. Right? तो ये चीज़ को ध्यान में रखना है. 200 वर्ड में कभी अगर ऐसा क्वेश्चन आता है एनालाइज द डिफेंस सेक्टर डेवलप इन इंडिया, तो आपको ये दोनों साइड लाना होगा कि पॉजिटिव साइड भी क्या है, नेगेटिव साइड भी क्या है. Right? That's what I brought this in today's development part. What you have in this. Now what I'll do is that I'll come to that other area. So what I'll do here, before I go into that, see, apart from what we have developed, this part, what I said was that we have developed in terms of 3 strategic areas. In 80s there, this all happened when 60s and 70s. We started working on this. So after independence we started. Now in 80s, let's say here, in science and technology development, it is there. I'll first put the points there, then I'll come to that. Now if you look at there, so first thing what was there was telecom sector. In India, in terms of the telecom sector, telecommunication and ICT, and that happened in Rajiv Gandhi government. And today you know that India is known as information technology. We are known for information technologies and service provider. But still what we lack? Hardware. We are good in the software part and the development part, but we are lacking behind in hardware there. So one of the aspects in 80s was in telecommunication system. And there, during Rajiv Gandhi government, Sam Pitroda, right, he was brought. He is the person who revolutionized. And today we have BSNL, MTNL, all those things. But at that time we didn't have so many private players like Vodafone and all this one. This came later on. Telecom sector 80s में इसलिए हुआ क्योंकि development space technology, satellite communication satellite, and you know spectrum allocation, 2G, 3G, today all what we have. So had India not developed earlier in terms of building satellites and launching the satellite to the orbit, communication satellite, we would not have got the development of telecom sector. That is what has happened, wireless communication, right? What is the next one? Very important is that in information communication technology, information and communication technology, right? Now it is known for another very, very important development in technology, biotechnology. Though we have been working from the beginning, but actually if you look at formal way, Department of Biotechnology, DBT, was established in 1986, right? So what comes here? Biotech development in India, biotechnology, and what I'm saying here, DBT, Department of Biotechnology, was established in 1986. It came into origin 1986. तो एक क्वेश्चन इस साल के मेंस एग्जाम के लिए बायोटेक भी हो सकता है. Why? Because of 30 years of DBT. Right, 2017, last year 30 years was celebrated of DBT, Department of Biotechnology. So you can say we are not as at par with US or Europe in terms of biotechnology, but we have built up the critical infrastructure. Now what is the biotechnology development here? Where all areas of application comes? Biotechnology, major areas where we are using the research. One is the agriculture, right? Agri-biotech, right? Now agri-biotech, if I give you certain examples of what we have developed in 30 years, so I'm writing the example. One is that biofertilizers. Today in agriculture, we are using biofertilizers. एक टेक्नोलॉजी है जो डीबीटी के द्वारा डेवलप किया गया, mycorrhizal technology, symbiotic fungi which found in the roots. We have developed there. आज मार्केट में, today in market, seed coated with mycorrhizas available. Another achievement of this one, very important which I'm writing here, biopesticides. Then high yield varieties, right? That is through the breeding program, genetics. I'm not talking about GM. GM I'll come here. Now GM crops में क्या example आता है? BT cotton, right? Others have been developed, but they are not brought to the agriculture. Only one commercial one is BT cotton, which we are using today in the agriculture land. Animal husbandry, there's one very important thing which comes, cloned animal. Can you name India's first cloned buffalo? There's a part. What is the name of cloned buffalo? Garima, right? Garima is India's Garima, right? Bhaisi hai bhaisi, not bhaisa, right? Garima, female buffalo, is a calf which was developed. Now, which place? किसी का नाम गरिमा तो नहीं है ना? कई बार क्लास में लोग गरिमा नाम भी होता है. कोई गरिमा है क्या यहाँ पर? नहीं है ना. कई बार डॉली भी नाम होता है. Dolly, you know, Dolly the first yarn velvet ship was there, right? Now here Garima, where which institute of which has developed this first cloned buffalo of the world. No, not ICR. ICR has come to hybrid, but there's a name there. I'll write separately. NDRI Karnal, Haryana. So Haryana is known for kusti, right? Wrestling, boxing, and also for Garima. So they're on the GT road when you go to towards Chandigarh on the Karnal. So NDRI Karnal, this is a place where such cloned animals are made. And India has developed this Garima. That is what happened. Garima has given birth to another cloned buffalo called Mahima and Karishma. Right? So Mahima is also been born. So there is Mahima also there. Karishma also, not Karina. Right? Karishma has been born there, right? So this kind of development has happened. So there are several examples has come in terms of such development part. Right? Then if you look at, apart from agriculture, biotechnology, in last 30 years, DBT has gone into medical biotechnology. Medical biotech or healthcare there. Now give me example of DBT achievement in this area. Again remember that when you look into both exam, PT and mains exam, I'd again come out with the developments there. Any medical biotechnology development. That is also cost, but actually it is not that much been used, but give something which is there in the, what we are using today in the healthcare sector. Okay? Vaccines. That is it. You look into the examples which are there. See, UPSC as an IAS officer, as a civil servant wants to see that what all things are there. Though advanced level also could be there, but what is very important? Vaccine. Today we have immunization program. You all know that mission in the Dhanush, all those kind of DPT, BCG, polio, and I'll give you the fact. What I've given yesterday, India is a big producer of heavy water. We are making manufacture. Today I've said India is a leading producer of radioisotopes. And now I'm telling you today India is a leading manufacturer of vaccine also. We have achieved in 30 years. And serum, what is called anti-sera, that is exported. There are companies there. There's a public company, Bharat Serums. Right?
Producer of HIV vaccine and
correct. Imported or exported also, because you know Africa and other countries which have a high burden of HIV cases. India too have got, other countries have got, and that has been made and sent back from there. So what I want to write, vaccine program if you look at, we are using where first immunization program, India. ठीक है, उसमें हम use कर रहे हैं. And I'll give you further more example later on, but one is comes here, and India is today is a manufacturer of such anti-sera, and this is sold in the market. Now apart from vaccine, what comes here? Novel drugs, important drugs, medicines, and that will be part from where the medicines which have worked and that transferred to the pharma companies. They can for anti-cancer, anti-diabetic, right, those kind of development there. You'll come into that. Now, apart from that, you know one of the very important thing, and there's a debate also going on, in vitro fertilization, artificial reproduction technology, ART. This has been worked. Now another thing, very latest thing which is going to transform the entire medical science, where biotechnology comes, and Indians are also working in that, stem cell research. Right, we all will be learning about what a stem cell and all, but this stem cell research is a very important area. And today we are having the stem cell use. It's not that we are not having. Right? Simply stating what are stem cells? These are those cells, progenitor kind of cells, which can give birth to other type of cells, what body organs are there. The future is going to be regenerative medicine. We can grow any kind of cells, tissues, muscles. That is going to happen in 10, 20 years later. So we have a dedicated research into that. So there are many examples, few examples I have written here. Now the next area of biotechnology in terms of Department of Biotechnology, that comes here industrial biotechnology, industries. So what will come into that? I have already given biopharma. See, remember that, again remember that, India is a generic player. Most of the medicines what is sold in the market, generic drugs, and that is all off-patent one, which does not require much R&D. But when you talk about biotechnology, we require what? Research. And then develop novel molecule, novel drugs. So DBT is helping that also there. Right? And I'll write here therapeutic, therapy there, new type of therapeutic molecule. So if you look at therapy here, let's say insulin, you know that, insulin. So what is also called recombinant insulin? I've used R insulin. What is R insulin? Genetic engineered bacteria. E. coli, that makes the insulin, human insulin. Right? उसी तरह और भी ऐसे मॉलिक्यूल्स हैं जो कि हार्मोन्स हैं, दिस ऑल कैन बी मेड. But in the industries part, what are given biopharma, then bioenergy. इस साल क्वेश्चन आया हुआ है एग्जाम में algae. There's a question on, right, algae which can be used for biofuel. You know, bioethanol, biodiesel, right? How the biodiesel and bioethanol can be made? We can get from plants. You know the example, it has been asked in exam, Jatropha, Pongame and all this one. But this year, question is not on Jatropha, algae, right? Algae based. And what it says that algae can be grown only in the sea and something, that is statement given. Algae is a water body based, right? So not only the sea and ocean, even it can be fresh water also there, right? And there are certain type of algae which contain ethanol.
Also releases oxygen.
Releases oxygen also. And why? Algae contains pigment chlorophyll, just like green plants. So they capture what? Carbon. They take CO2 gas and gives out oxygen, just like green plants rather. It's also right, very right. So what?
Does not depend on the oxygen.
Oxygen, right? Right, it's very true, very true. What he's saying is very true. So that's what I'm saying. Today, bioenergy sector is developing. And India will have such kind of biofuels. And maybe transport, vehicle, we can use such kind of biofuel. Now it comes very, very important. Food industry. Food industries में काफी biotechnology आता है. Give me example of food industry. Sorry, ऊपर लिख देता. So give me example of food industries and how the biotechnology comes there.
In baking we use cultured yeast.
Yes, very good. Biotechnology has been part of mankind right from the starting point. The moment the humans became civilized, right, primitive man, cave dwellers, became an agricultural man, so what came into their Madira? Somras, right? So what is the somras? You know, wines and breweries, right? Fermentation, that is what comes here. It's a home breed, you know, sometimes in home, people can make ferment and can make Madira. That's a local desi, right? This can be there. Can be part of that. It's a fermentation technique there, right? Then what he has said, very good. What? Bakery. All these are there. Jam, what you eat, the butter jam, all this product, dairy product is again biotechnology. What is very important thing? Enzymes. It works on what? Enzyme technology. Synthetic, this is a bioenzymes which take from bacteria and all those that are used in those kind of reactor technology, cultures, right? So what I want to write here, biochemical industry, you can write biochemical and you can give etc. there, biochemical. Today, leather industry, textile industries, all these are works on enzyme technology, enzymes. Enzymes are biological catalysts. ठीक है, this all are there. So एक इसमें प्रोडक्ट है जो मार्केट में आपको पता भी होगा, याकुल्ट. What is Yakult? It's not energy protein. Probiotics, very important word. It's called here probiotics. It comes from where? Food industry, but it's a totally biotechnology product. It's today in the market. You have this Yakult product. It's a small drink there is which has live bacteria. Probiotics contain live bacteria. It's not dead bacteria, live bacteria, right? And which is called Lactobacillus casei. It's type of strain of bacteria, which gives immunity and your digestion also. Right? That improves the health. That's what the product is there, and that is made by the biotech companies. Right? ये तीन major areas हैं. और भी बहुत सारे areas हैं. एक अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा DBT कर रहा है. एक बहुत celebrated case हुआ था. Right? There's one very, very important leader, political leader. Right? Right? Not Rahul Gandhi. Not the Prince of Congress. Yuvraj nahi, Congress is Yuvraj nahi. What is the name? Is the ND Tiwari, Narayan Dutt Tiwari. What was the case there? Narayan Dutt Tiwari. उन्होंने बड़े-बड़े लोग बड़ी-बड़ी काम कर लेते हैं, वो अलग बात है. So he has to regret in the later stage of life. Right? So their biological son, Shekhar. Right? He was not willing to accept him as a son. Right? So what came there? DNA fingerprinting. Right? So we have today forensic biotechnology. Right? To identify person in terms of father and mother, biological father and mother. And we have a lab called CDFD. We have developed there. Right? ठीक है, तो ये एक I'll go more detail, but just few examples I've given. Now tell me 80s, what was more in 80s? There's one biotech I've given a kind of there. That's why I said science and technology is very interesting and the approach is very different. If you follow this approach, I am very sure you will remember me on the day of the exam. Sir, आपकी याद आ रही है. Right? Why? This is what the question comes in the exam. The UPSC asks them that thing. UPSC will not ask you rocket science, right? I've said yesterday also. It will ask you basic thing. That is the thing there. Now come to this one. Who will tell me what was the development in science and technology in 80s, apart from telecom and biotech? Which area was developed? Earth sciences. Very important is earth sciences. And we have today dedicated Ministry of Earth Sciences. Right? We have a Ministry of Earth Sciences, not Department of Earth Science. We have Ministry of Earth Sciences here, MOES. Now tell me the area of work. Which Earth Sciences Ministry is involved? It's very simple. Earth Sciences I've given. So first comes what? Monsoon. So what comes area here? Meteorology. Let me write here. A is meteorology. मैं थोड़ा हट भी जाता हूँ ताकि इस साइड से लोग देख सकें. Meteorology. India is a country which depends on agriculture, and agriculture depended on meteorology, weather condition, and we required important scientific data for that. And one aspect comes monsoon, second comes flood, drought, all these areas. What I'm writing another seismology. You'll sometimes in the Hindu paper and all will come across this network of seismograph established by IMD. Both the meteorology and seismology comes within IMD, Indian Meteorological Department. And IMD New Delhi works into these two areas. Indian Meteorological Department looks into seismology also there. Why? Because India is prone to earthquake. We have high risk area, low risk area also, medium, moderate. Delhi comes where? Zone 3, Zone 4, Zone 5, where it comes? See, highest is Zone 5. The Himalayan state, that part. Delhi comes 4. See, pehle Zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But Zone 1 and 2 were merged together. So if you look in that context, 1 and 2 को merge करने पे, तब in the third होगा वो. What he is saying the third there. But if you just take numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so there Zone 4 comes. Is again high risk area, right? Delhi, and you know what type of development is there, right? So that comes into that. But now let me come to that. जब कभी भूकंप आता है, whenever there is a tremor or earthquake, it is the official from IMD who will come to the television channel and will inform about epicenter of the earthquake with the Richter scale. ठीक है? Though in media or newspaper may come across different values, 6 Richter, 6 or 5.6. It is the IMD official who confirms that this is the Richter scale and this was the epicenter. So that is the work of IMD, right? Then comes here what? I am writing a very, very important one. India has very important geography aspect, Himalayan glaciers. So what comes to research? Glaciology. Himalayan glaciers is very important for our country. Melting of glaciers. Glaciers are the source of all water in the rivers, right? North Indian rivers. They get the Indo, Gangetic, Brahmaputra, and you know the impact of climate change on the glaciers, retreating glaciers. So again, scientific research is done through earth sciences, right? अभी recently कुछ last year कुछ हुआ है. Healthcare. एक research center बनाया गया है स्पीति वैली में, हिमाचल. What is the name? There is one particular name has come in the newspaper. अब मैं इसलिए हमेशा बोलता हूँ ना कि जो करंट पे ऑब्वियस होता है कभी पूछते हैं नहीं पूछते हैं, नेक्स्ट ईयर आ सकता है. हिमांश, आर यू अवेयर ऑफ दिस? हिमांश, व्हाट इज हिमांश? दिस इज अ रिसर्च सेंटर, अर्थ साइंस. वेयर इज हिमांश? हिमांश मैं बता देता हूँ, ये स्पीति वैली में, लाहौल एंड स्पीति, यू नो दैट, राइट? इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेस. Lahore and Spiti, Lahore and Spiti. This is right, I am pronouncing right? Lahore and Spiti. So there, Himansh has been set up. From where? This Ministry of Earth Sciences. Why it has been set up? Glacier, study of glaciers. And what they are going to use? They are going to use drone, unmanned aerial vehicle for mapping. उसका mapping किया जाएगा glaciers का, ठीक है? और एक technology है जो use किया जाएगा lidar technology. So Himansh is going to use lidar technology, laser detection and ranging. This is a very important technology for mapping of glaciers. And what I've said there, they are going to use UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. And unmanned aerial vehicle will have what? Cameras. Then Himanshu has been set up. I'm just giving one current example. But we have been doing this glacier study for a long time. Himalayan glaciers there. Then what comes the next area of research here? Polar science. I have taken polar science glaciers together because cryosphere, right? Polar science. And polar science research, this is what I said, it is. In 1981, our Dakshin Gangotri, first Antarctic research station was established. And we sent what expedition of scientists to there. A team of scientists went to Antarctica, South Pole. Today, Dakshin Gangotri is not there. We have abandoned. So which is the one? Matri. And then, so if you look at Antarctica, we have made 3 base stations, 3 research stations there. Right, the first one which I said was in 80s was Dakshin Gangotri. That was the name given there. Second, which is now operating Matri, and which is the one next we have built, Bharti. These are 3 one. And then we also have agreement with Norway. And what we have there in Arctic, like North Pole, what is the name of the station? Himadri. Did you get that? South Pole we have developed 3. Dakshin Gangotri, Matri, and then you have the Bharti, the current one is Bharti. And for North Pole research, Norway, there is a Himadri, and the name of the place is called Svalbard. Right? We हाल फिलहाल में सीड बैंक का न्यूज में आया था. Svalbard is where? Svalbard is not mainland Norway. In Arctic Ocean, there is an island. And Svalbard is an island which is very near to North Pole, but comes within the sovereignty of Norway. You know why? UN clause. There is something called United Nations Convention Law of Seas. So remember that there is an island, Svalbard, which comes within Norway. And there, Norway government allows other countries to set up research stations. So India, China, Japan, US, all this. Svalbard came into the news because seed vault, which got flooded with water. There's a big seed vault, seed bank. India has also given seeds. But what I'm saying, we have now Himadri as a station for study of North Pole. Right? एक क्वेश्चन 2015 में आया था इंडार्क, यूपीएससी पीटी एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन आया था, दैट वाज ऑन इंडार्क, इंडिया आर्टिक एक्सपेरिमेंट. It is all came in the exam, right? That time it was in the news. What is INDARC? An instrument which has been put under the water, Arctic water, which will measure the salinity, temperature, ocean current, and see this linkage with monsoon. How it can global effect could be there. उस समय न्यूज़ में था 2015 में क्वेश्चन आ चुका है, अब नहीं आएगा दोबारा, but just to make you aware. So what you read in newspaper about any aspect of science can be a question in the exam. Now apart from this, what is the next one? Ocean studies, oceanography. Right? I've said yesterday, living resource, non-living resource, all those kind of mapping. And for this, what we have, just like a normal warship we have, military case, we have something called ORV. What is ORV? It's called sometimes offshore research vessel. Let me write here. Offshore research vessels. And I'll give you a few examples. बहुत पहले नाम था सागर पूर्वी नाम था, अब उसको हम रिटायर कर रहे हैं हम लोग. पूर्वी मीन्स ईस्ट कोस्ट, सागर पश्चिमी वेस्ट कोस्ट. ये एक तरह का क्या होता है, लैब होता है. आप ये समझो, अच्छा मैं ऊपर लिख देता हूँ, पीपल एट द बैक कैन नॉट सी दैट. सागर पूर्वी, सागर पश्चिमी आर द शिप और द वेसल्स, and it is basically a lab. The scientists carry out experiment. But what is the very सागर संपदा, सागर कन्या, मैं ऊपर लिख देता हूँ, सागर कन्या. तो अब यहाँ पे आपको हिंट मिल जाएगा, कभी भी कोई ऐसा नाम सागर के साथ है तो you know that is not for military purpose. ORVs are there, right? And I have given that where the name comes Sindhu, right? That is a submarine. So that is where you can keep in mind there, right? So here Sagar Kanya, Sagar Sampada, all these are for research purpose there. Sampada, you know, Hindi word means resources, right? So India today have, in 80s we started with the earth science program. We are dedicated, huh? Okay, there are number of centers are there. I'll give you the, what he has asked a very good question. What is the name of the R&D center? There is something called, very important, NACOR, NACOR, National Center for, as a NCA or sorry, National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research. National Center for Ocean and Antarctic, sorry, Ocean, NCOR, Center for Ocean and Antarctic Research. Where is it located? There is a place called Dona Pola.
Goa.
Right? How many of you have been to Goa? There is a beach named Dona Pola.
Jetty at Goa.
Which Goa?
There's a jetty in Donapola.
Jetty is very right. You are very right. Anyone from Goa here? No. North Goa ke side. South Goa means North Goa. Yeah.
Myanmar area.
Mirabar, very good. He has been to that. कब गए थे आप इधर हाल फिलहाल में? February. Now see, he is know that. और कुछ पता है? कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है मैं बताना चाहूँगा. चर्च तो गोवा में बहुत सारा है. नहीं वो तो अदर है वो फ्रांसिस का जो वो तो अलग है वहाँ पर. वो दैट इज डिफरेंट देयर. Navy Museum also there. What is very jetty is there. Navy Museum is there. February he has been to there. You also should go there and see there. December, you know, carnival season is there. 31st December, New first year, Christmas time and all this. That Science Center, this one, Antarctic and Ocean Research, this part. अच्छा मैं फिर बार गलती कर रहा हूँ मैं. National Center for Antarctic and Ocean ये है. NACOR is that part. National Center for Antarctic and Ocean Research there. कई बार क्वेश्चन आया कंफ्यूजन होता है ओशन एंटार्क्टिक रिसर्च अंटार्कटिक ओशन रिसर्च. आई टेल यू दैट जो इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है कभी भी आप भूलोगे नहीं आप. कमल हसन ही इज ऑल्सो नाउ इन द न्यूज कमिंग राइट. वेरी फेमस एक्टर. ही वाज अर्लियर विद बॉलीवुड ऑल्सो राइट. एंड देन ही देन सेड दैट नो मोर हिंदी मूवीज ओनली तमिल मूवीज राइट. कमल हसन देयर इज वन मूवी वेयर इज कॉल्ड एक दूजे के लिए राइट. हिंदी मूवी राइट. What is that movie is all? It's based on the life of this girl called Dona Paula, Portuguese girl. This is why the name has come. It's a suicide point also. This is what I want to say. Right? So what is suicide point? Your lover's point, right? So Dona Paula, being a Portuguese girl, fell in love with a poor fisherman that was played by Kamal Hassan in that movie. And at the end of the movie, they commit suicide. That is the place there. That's what the name has come, Dona Paula. Propose point भी है. You might be right there. Right? Goa has got this center, right? Is it clear? It is what? So in it is this all development happened there, right? So today this whatever covered development part, today you will have one slide also in your student portal. I will upload one slide on where you will have development part, science tech development, right? Now I'll tell you tomorrow's topic, what we are going to cover. Tomorrow, first topic what we'll cover is the eminent Indians. It will not take much time and you'll have a slide on that. I'll already put the slide on the online there. And then we'll start with the concept part. Now I'll go into detail of that. We'll first start with space science and there I'll discuss orbit, classification of orbit, application of orbit, launch vehicle, PSLV, GSLV, all those parts will start now. That I have used the word today ballistic, cruise, but what is ballistic, what is cruise, we'll see all of this part of that. Right? Is it clear here? I know that 3 hours continuously you are in the classroom there. That's why in between I play the video also there, so that you relax there. Right? I will not let you make meerkat. Right? जागे रहोगे आप. ठीक है? All right. So we'll meet tomorrow there. Okay. Thank you everyone.